Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Elendor Chronicles, brought to you by the Component Cast. Before we get on with tonight's episode, though, we need to do our little bit of housekeeping, as we always do. Remember, if you haven't already and you want to help out, you can do so by either becoming one of our fantastic Twitch shubs. They'll put an extra shush in there. There's a bit of Sean Connery today.
Isn't Gourd the only Twitch shrub here?
Twitch shrub, yes.
No, he's no longer a shrub. Hang on, never mind.
No, not anymore. That's true. Or you can become one of our patrons. Patrons give us the biggest slice of the pie and also allow us to create many more shows like this one. Other than that, I think that's all the housekeeping we needed to do tonight. So, let's get on with tonight's episode. So, last time, we left off with the party, recently in the Elendor Chronicles. The party had been investigating a series of plagues and illnesses forming over parts of the Nardathel. It was widespread and relatively erratic. However, they managed to catch the trail of a possible source after investigating a monastery, as alluded to by Elwyn, the former mentor of Breton. They discovered that a demonic and devilish metal known as blood silver had been used to corrupt holy sites, which was the cause of a lot of the illnesses. But not only that, but also trinkets of faith, finding it within rosaries. These rosaries would then drive individuals to both sickness and illness, and eventually death, and in some cases, undeath. The party then took to the capital after leaving Cormont, where they discovered that a rosary seller was indeed a cultist of Null, and selling these rosaries. Yet, whilst they rounded out that one piece of the puzzle, yet more distribution and more cultish actions were prevalent. Now, we left off with a fountain outside of the inn that you're about to stay at, spilling over and flooding the streets with blood. But before we get on with tonight's episode, I need to give you guys a chance to get yourself a group inspiration, don't I? So, this is going to be racking those memory ranks. So, sorry, Lambert, this one might struggle for you. But, what spell did Joanna accidentally cast in Compound?
Big shield spell.
Was it Wall of Force?
I was able to Misty Step through it.
Wall of Force.
Wait,
Didn't she like use some kind of command on someone to tell him to get inside the house or something along those lines? Like some like mental domination kind of doodad.
The Wall of Force is closest, but it was a slightly higher level spell, and it was a variation of. So it's like I'm gonna let you get as close as possible. I'll allow for one more guess each person.
Slightly higher Wall of Force.
Not Force Cage.
The only spell that I can think of that's higher than Wall of Force would be Prismatic Wall.
Prismatic Wall, yeah.
Prismatic Wall is correct. So Breton, you have earned the team that point of inspiration. So
we all get it, or just Breton?
Breton gets it, but he can donate it to the rest of the team if need so. But it's just he's got dibs on it, shall we say?
Okay.
So yes, the fountain in front of you, you were the silence of the evening, the relative calm, the relief of dealing with a cultist was broken by the fact and the sound of screaming and the streets beginning to run with blood. The fountain began to overflow and produce more volumes of liquid than probably physically was in there in the first place. And you are now, you all said you ran outside to see what the screaming was. You now also notice the blood beginning to overtake people. You see as in the blood is now becoming so voluminous that people are being pulled into it.
Ruby's quickly looking at Valymr, looking at Breton, twin cast, not twin cast, I'll do 4th level fly and boom boom on both of them and fly up herself.
Okay, so all three of you are now flying. You're seeing various members of the peasantry, people who are just going about their evening, people who are sat outside of cafes, just like essentially, it's almost like it's becoming an ooze and it's just like grabbing people into the blood.
Get up high. I'm gonna try something. Get up high.
Can I try and like grab onto somebody who's about to get covered in blood and like
yeah, absolutely. You
them?
can try and grab someone.
Try to save some people. Yeah,
totally.
I can't maintain the fly forever. Get up safe. I'm gonna try something.
But have you met us? We need to save people.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody roll an initiative, and we'll do this in an initiative order, just so we get like ease of course of action here.
If you are not immediately,
Jesus!
If you're not immediately taking off to help these people, you're not getting the +5 from Breton. I'll tell you that right now.
So that's the best initiative I have ever rolled in the however many years we've been playing.
Yeah, cool. Love that.
And with a +5, that'd be 26.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just setting the vibe a bit more.
That's certainly a vibe. Yeah, no, I feel it. I feel a vibe.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so first up on the initiative is, I guess if it is a 26, it's who has the highest dex.
It'd be Valymr.
It would be Valymr. So yeah, Valymr. What's your action? Who are you going for?
I don't know. I've never gone first. This is entirely. Usually I have more time for this kind of thing.
Say this is probably a 60-foot by 60-foot, like smaller square. It's not like a main market square, but it's like there is a fountain in the center that is like overflowing with blood. There's probably about 20-ish people around, whether they're over at a cafe. So there's a cafe over on your left. You have the inn where you are. You're like at the doorstep of. There's probably about 5 or 6 people like running towards the door of the inn, seeing you guys come out of it. People are also trying to dart down roads that's slightly uphill, but you guys are downhill. Whilst the blood is creeping uphill, it's faster this way.
I would like to basically grab the closest people to the blood and lift them up and like put them on balconies, on roofs if they're low enough, like that kind of thing. Just basically getting people out of the way.
Sure, I will say you can easily lift one person at a time. But if you wanted to try and push for 2, I will need an athletics check.
I will. Look, I'm not strong, and I roll bad, so I'm just gonna go for 1 at a time.
Okay.
No paladin stuff to help you with that one, I'm afraid.
Give me a perception check, and we'll see who you see to grab.
I grab an 11.
Cool. You see a man just absolutely like, and you just swoop him up and start darting for a balcony. Balconies aren't really a thing in this like architecture, but you can quite easily put people on roofs.
I'll put people on roofs.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Or through windows, like if just shove them into someone's house. But no, you can absolutely throw people like upwards. So you grab a person. Right, next, Breton.
Breton's gonna do the same. He's not looking for people trying to escape the blood. He's looking for people who have already been hit by the blood. He's gonna try and pull them free.
Sure. Okay. What's your passive perception?
Passive perception should be 16, I think.
16? Okay, not as ridiculous. Give me.
It's not as ridiculous as some people have been, but it's good. Perception. Okay. 14.
Yeah, you see.
Sorry, that was definitely an 8 on the die. I'll take a 17.
Okay, you see a lady. Essentially, now everything. Only her upper torso is freed from the blood. You see, and but her arms are out, and she's just trying to almost paddle above it. But you can race over and try and pull her out. Give me an athletics check.
We're just gonna keep on doing that. We know Breton's huge. He can carry a lot of people.
Yeah.
So he's just gonna start piling people on him like Superman.
So we're gonna do this on turn, like so, and this
23
is
for the first athletics.
Yeah, So Breton, I'm gonna need another perception check as you pull the woman out.
Okay. Here's hoping she didn't get pulled out and have like this is 21.
So you see like the bottom half of this lady, like where it's like. It's almost like parts of her clothing have like acidified and been burnt away, and then you see her skin is like blistered and oozing and infected.
Fine. Don't worry, we'll take care of that in a moment.
Yeah, it's just thank you. And yeah, I would say there's probably another individual close enough for you to try and grab. So give me another.
Athletics?
Yes, please.
That's a natural 1 for a 15.
I hate that you succeed the DC here, even with a natural 1. But
Listen, Zep is gone, Zaraj is gone, James is gone. Somebody's still got to do some insane rolls in this game.
I think you all do insane rolls from time to time. It just depends on what
our
the
saving throws have
situation
gotten.
is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you pull another pull another individual free. You see the same sort of. It looks like they are just like this blood is like corrupting their body slightly. But you pull them away and you. Right, Ruby, over to you.
He will also, before we end this turn, he's also gonna. I'm assuming here now that we've had this time. He's gonna whistle for Solvaril to start grabbing people who haven't been. Grabbed by the blood and taking them to safety as well.
Sure.
Ruby's gonna hover above the blood fountain and try to see if there's a source on it that's causing where it's coming from.
Okay, you fly towards the blood fountain. What's the speed of how much fly speed have you got?
30 feet.
Okay, so you can just get to the fountain. It means getting away from it isn't going to be as easy.
I'm going up, like diagonal, just up and.
Yeah, I'm saying it's at 30 foot into the center of a 60-foot square. So, like, to get directly to it, you would need to be use
like
all your
30
movement.
feet up and 30 foot over towards it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's your movement for this turn.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do other move actions, it would either need to be as an action dash or otherwise. Right. Give me a perception check as you try to identify the source that's producing this blood.
11.
From what you can tell, there is you just see various sort of. There's a lot of bubbling. It seems like in the bottom layer of the fountain, it's like a 2-tier, but in the top there is one pronounced fountain that is absolutely producing. 15 foot tall.
Just the size I need to be. Ruby's gonna concentrate. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, you don't actually see a direct source, just roughly where it's coming from.
That's okay. While we're keeping concentration on Fly, because I don't want my partners to fall into the blood, Ruby's going to try to use dual focus again and put a wall of force around the entire fountain.
Oh, okay. Sure. Sure.
Stymie the flow.
Cool.
The only thing that breaks wall of force is disintegrate.
Yeah.
I just had a mental image of how I think this backs up, but
we'll find out in a second. But she's trying her best to.
No. It's a great move.
fills in the wall of force, and then the pressure increases until the fountain.
Sewer grates just start popping.
So currently we see you can form a circle total sphere radius up to 10 feet.
Much as she can. So it's going to be over through a good chunk of the mountain.
Yeah, you can probably just
expand it with higher level?
No, it doesn't.
Radius 10 feet is 20 feet up and 20 feet across. Like
Yeah, exactly. So you can encapsulate most of it. It's just one of those things is you're reduced in the amount of room of... Basically, the vacuum that holds the blood is lower than probably hoping, but it does cover the fountain. So you do see, and you now see that this blood red orb just filling with liquid in front, and you do see the blood sort of. But the one thing you do notice, the blood that has already been exposed keeps running. It's not as viscous, it's not as thing, but it keeps like flowing out. It's like you see that it's starting to slow down now that the source is not available. It's like a wave on the sand. It's still going, It's still got momentum, and there's still enough of it that it's carrying, but it will probably dry out when it stops if it doesn't get more in.
Then Ruby's gonna scream out, "Get to safety! I can't hold this for very long!"
You do notice as well, those of you that are flying and helping people, those that were in the blood that had people is like it's have you seen Venom? Or like
I was about to ask if it was like Venom. No.
Yeah, have you seen
the blood that's touched people seems to be responding to the fact that it's been in contact with people.
Yeah, it's like you see, it's like it's trying to grab people, but it hasn't got the strength to be just pulling people. So it's like it's almost like a spider's web, just clicking onto them and trying to drag off, and you just see it's like.
We need some prestidigitation.
No, we need Jesus.
He's not here. We can try a bit of.
But okay.
All the god names have gone for my brain.
I'm now going to quickly. One of you roll me a d20 luck.
I got this. I am the lucky one today. 9.
Okay, on initiative order 9, something will happen. Valymr.
Which is next?
Next turn.
Also, I was the best person to do it because I probably rolled lower than both of you. I'm gonna try and save another person.
Sure.
Get to bloody safety.
So you've taken one person to the roof, and you see this person wasn't in the blood. Were they? No, they weren't with you. Are you going
focusing on the people
Are you
in the
going
blood.
for blood people, or are you just going for general people?
If people look like they are about to be overtaken by blood, I'm going to try and stop them from getting overtaken by blood. But if people have like recognized and they're running away and the blood is not going to catch them, I'll go for somebody in the blood.
Put it this way, right now with the momentum of the blood, only people that were already captured by the blood are still in it, and the others are managed to like. There's enough speed that they are, and there's people going indoors.
Why is going away one way or the other?
I'm going to try and get somebody out of the blood then.
Okay, go for it. I'm going to need an athletics check as you try to save an individual. It's not as high a DC to pull them out now because there is less blood there, but you also see that this person is just like injured. It's like this person's like it's trying to grab at this guy's face because where he's been tripped and pulled to the floor. Lovely. It's like trying to, and you see where it's leaving. It's like leaving almost like a vein, like almost like have you seen when someone's been electrocuted by like lightning? And it like leaves like a lightning pattern in their skin. This is just leaving like almost like a blackened, blooded like tendril like pattern as it like slaps against them. 10 is exactly what you needed, and you managed to pull this guy free and grab them to safety. I will say you've probably got 20 foot of movement. You could try to grab someone who isn't in the blood left and put them to safety. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that as well.
You can do another person. Right. Breton, over to you.
I think he's just gonna do what he did last turn. Like Ruby says, I'm gonna stop the blood. Okay, but that doesn't help the people that are in the blood at the moment.
Flying is going away next turn, so.
Okay. Do you want to share your plan in case somebody else can do something?
I'm casting another wall of force.
Another wall of force. Okay.
So I could stop it entirely.
All right. That's... Yeah. I guess Breton is just gonna... He's just gonna... If that's the thought, then he is not going to leave anybody in the blood. How many people are left in the blood, Mitch?
Probably
that is readily apparent.
Probably three directly.
Then Breton's pushing to grab them all.
Okay, sure.
Iron Man 2 situation.
You can't not pull them up.
Yeah.
And the resistance is far lessened. So if you use your action to dash, I would say you could pick all of them up and get them onto a roof with just enough time to land.
Okay.
And you see these people as well. All of them have been there are to put this into mechanical terms, probably a little low on the HP right now as peasants. They don't tend to have many hit points, so to speak.
Put them all on the same roof next to each other. Everyone
that is the plan. That is what he's doing.
I'm gathering that's where what you've been doing. You've kind of gone, okay, let's run them back to the inn that we're staying at and put them on the roof. You know what? Even I'll say this inn has a flat roof portion that it probably uses as a rooftop bar, and you've commandeered it for rescue attempts.
Perfect.
It's also probably a grain and storage elevator, but not just a rooftop bar. There is probably some, Renaissance thought and mechanics going in there. But you can grab them all back, sure. Right. Is that the end of your turn?
I'll leave Solvaril on just keeping this. As you said, the blood's not really creeping close to anyone, but I'm gonna have Solvaril on. If anybody is falling too close to it, they're getting emergency rescue.
Sure.
Which might be a little rough on them too, because Solvaril is not a gentle person. He got big claws, but better than falling in blood, I guess.
Okay, Ruby, what's your plan?
First thing is Fly goes away.
Okay.
And she's gonna back up and diagonal about another 20 feet. Close her eyes, and she's gonna try to reinforce the wall of force by casting another wall of force.
So,
Fly is dropped, wall of force comes up to do the part she can't get.
Yes, the issue is, before you do it, just mathematically speaking, it will be the exact same size. So to fit it over it.
Yeah, there's a 10-foot section that's got majority of it, and she's doing another one that's kind of canted over the top of that one, the parts that aren't blocked.
So yeah, okay. Therefore, I need to ask: are you aiming to cover the top, or are you trying to go around the bottom? Because again,
around the bottom, the part. I imagine because the way it is right now is if it's a 15-foot fountain, 10 feet of it are covered entirely by one wall of force. Though she's 5 feet of it that aren't. She's covering it the 5 feet that are not.
So yeah, you've got that, and then so you're doing the 10-foot by 10-foot panels to go around, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So it's a circle in the center, 10-foot by 10-foot panels around. Not trying to fit a circle over a circle. Because
no, it's a circle adjacent to a circle. Like it's a circle that's kind of tilted side. It's the hemisphere that's tilted sideways to cover the 10 feet that she can't get. Am I making any sort of sense?
Not to me, but I'm not the DM, so...
No, because the way I'm seeing it is, it's a fountain, like, you've got bottom layer, top layer. You put a dome on top of it to cup it in.
Yeah.
And you're trying to put a dome on the side.
A cup around, 10-foot panels around the outside to seal it entirely.
So I was going, are you doing like, are you doing like construction company walls around the
Minecraft...
There's because you can do 10-foot, but you can do up to 10-foot by 10-foot panels or one 20-foot dome essentially. So I was saying a 20-foot dome over the 20-foot dome won't really help you, is what I was trying to get at. But a 10-foot by 10-foot like police line, do not cross kind of thing. Will stop any spill until that fills up and overflows, if that happens.
Well, it's supposed to seal it entirely. That's the idea. Because you can do. A lot of panels.
You can do up to 10 10-foot by 10-foot panels. Each must be contiguous to the other panel in any form. The wall is a quarter-inch thick.
How big's the fountain?
15 foot.
Suppose you could do 2 on each side, and that's using 8. And then you can do your second wall of force to seal the top.
Yeah, it's the idea.
Well, you can do it with the because you've got... There's already one over it. So is that one being cancelled and then this is going up afterwards? Or is this... like?
No, the first one remains.
Okay, so yeah, it's a dome and then you're doing blocks
panels around the base of it to seal it in.
So are you trying to go as close to it as possible to fully just support it?
Yeah, we're walling it in.
Or are you trying to go slightly further out to try and stop the blood that's already out?
She's going to seal the entire fountain with the remaining panels. So there's no blood getting out is the idea.
And no more, like, okay. No more blood coming out, or the blood that's already out is also pushed.
She can't do anything about the blood that's out. She's stopping any more blood from coming out.
So you've put, okay, wall's gone round. It's blocked in. It's fully blocked in by 2 walls of force in some sort of panel system.
Minecraft system of
it's
rapidly construction.
Don't think they're meant to work like that, but we'll say it's okay.
If there's some squirtage from place to place, like, I don't mind that, but the idea is most of the volume is stopped.
Yes, that's fine. That is sorted right now. And the blood that is out does start to almost like dry into the cobblestone. Are you doing anything else?
Screaming, I cannot hold this forever. Please hurry.
No, true. You're making a con?
At the start of next turn.
Right, cool.
Hurry with what? We don't know how to fix this.
Okay.
Get people out of the way so I can let it back out.
We all of the people who were in the blood have come out of the blood.
There's some people in the... There are some people in the streets that are still running.
Yeah, let them keep running.
Yeah. Okay. So, initiative order 6 now. You see you hear the clatter of hooves as you see a group of knights in... Ruby and Breton would know this. You see this in like the High King's colors, like come racing down the street. Valymr, you see knights of like massively adorned heraldry, but the main difference from like a lot of other Nardathelian knights that you notice is these guys have like a burnishing gold armor and armor plating that's tied in with like basically they seem to all be wearing tabards where one side is like probably personal heraldry and the other side seems to be essentially the flag of Nardathel. And they just come barreling down the street, like some of them like grappling up people who are like fallen by the wayside, others just charging on through. They seem to be coming from further up, deeper into the city and just barrel past you, and they pick up about 5 or 6 people. No stopping, they just keep going.
Like they're running them over, or
no? So like they're trying to pick people onto their horses.
Oh, okay.
But you notice they do not stop where you are. And they're clearly running from something.
They're running away. I thought they were...
So
okay,
yeah, no,
right.
they've come into that. They're on like massively strong war horses. They've come into the square, picked a few people up, kept going outside of the square. So something else is triggering them to not stick around. And they've clearly been triggered by something else happening.
Hopefully this isn't the only fountain.
I doubt they'd be running away from something with there being all knightly and stuff. So maybe they're on their way to try and help the king going towards him. They've seen shit happening, so they're going over that way. Maybe. Anyway,
initiative order. Top of the initiative order is you, Valymr. So,
the people who have blood covering them, how are they looking now?
As in the people that you've rescued that were covered in blood.
Yeah. Is the blood still trying to like overtake them?
They are
that?
scarred. It's weird. It's almost like they've been slapped and instantaneously the wound is cauterized, but then also started to infect. So it's all black. Their skin is like necrotic in places. They've got pustules on their legs where it didn't break the skin. It's like infected. It's almost like they're rotting.
Oh boy. Can I throw 5 lay on handsiness onto the one that looks the worst?
Sure. There's someone that was like probably the deepest in the blood.
It's 5 to cure poison, right?
What is it?
Multiple diseases and neutralize multiple poisons. Yeah, for 5. So I will put 5 into him and see if it helps.
They look remarkably soothed.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were shivering from shock, like within an inch of their life, and they are now stabilized.
I'm going to take the next few actions to do that then. Just put laying hands on people.
So you're treating wounded. Breton, over to you.
Well, Valymr decided he was going to start treating the wounded, so...
How many wounded do we have?
7.
7. Take half the time if you did it as well, I guess. But I also need to figure out what's wrong with this.
Breton's going to call Solveril over and hop onto Solveril's mount.
Yep, sure.
We're going to fly up. Solveril is a griffin. Literal eyes of an eagle.
Yep.
See for miles. Breton is going to also spend his action doing this. We're just going to search for what else is going on in this city.
Sure,
What are the knights running from? What are they running to? What the fuck is going on?
Sure, absolutely. You can both make me a perception check.
All right. Breton makes it +6, which is fair. I don't have a sheet for Solveril, but Solveril rolls a d20 at advantage +5. So that's a 25 for Solveril.
Oh. Okay.
Eagle!
Wow. They have keen sight. He has a advantage on that. Wow.
Again, the part eagle.
Part eagle. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So, Breton, I'll start with you because it's slightly worse, not much. You see that you hear it more than anything. There's screams coming from all over the city. And you hear like havoc. The other thing you hear is running water. No, that's not water. It seems like the water or water systems everywhere are corrupted. And it's only when Solveril points you to it that you notice that there is houses, there are towers from the castles, there's sewer outlets. There are basically anywhere where there could have been a large source of water is now beginning to overflow with blood. You see across the city, you see clerics and other mages doing what they can to hold it back, create barriers, much like Ruby has, create stoppage points, and it is beginning to stop it. And you also notice like people trying to damage the blood, and it is reacting to damage in terms of like they're throwing guiding bolts and sacred flames towards it, and it is like almost targetable, but it's in certain places it seems futile because anytime the blood is destroyed, more is just oozing in, and you see like certain streets higher up the hills are just really beginning to torrentially come down, almost like rivers of blood. And that seems to be the direction these knights were riding from. They'd noticed that like elements of the city is like you do notice that Silveril also points out to you there are some areas that seem to be far less touched. Hallowed ground that remains hallowed seems to be defended, like a rock in the center of a river. Temples, some of the chapels, chapter houses, etc., they are completely unscarred right now. And you also see people flooding towards those at this moment in time. People are just trying to rush towards, like, you see, like, the main hill in which the Archknight, the ever living saint, lives on, is like clean, and it doesn't seem people can get there. You also look towards the main castle on the opposite hilltop, and it seems like the gates have been closed, and it's almost like they're using more manual methods to try and stop the flow, if there is any, coming towards the castle. Yeah, that's what you get.
Okay. So with that information, I guess I have one follow-up question. An attack like this, pretty widespread, seems like it is universal in the city. My immediate thought, and therefore Breton's immediate thought, is what is the main source of irrigation for Girvalu? Like, what is the main water supply that they use for the city?
So Girvalu relies on bringing water from the main river in this region of the Netherfell. And essentially they have like an aquifer bringing that water in.
He will kind of lower himself back down so he can yell at them, and there's like, we're just stopping a single wound. We need to find the source.
Okay.
Yeah, Girvalu runs on the Bray River, which basically it fills in all the way from the spines. It runs all the way through the plains, essentially, and it basically is the main water source that flows into the Bay of Plenty, which is like the cove area in which the large
Girvalu
cove,
is a
like the Bay of
coastal area
Biscay.
as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and you also see, like, this is one of the things I described to Breton. You actually see the blood is now also oozing into the sea.
Yeah. Well.
It's much worse than just a fountain.
Oh yeah, and so in fact there is in the almost red sunlight of the sunset, it is reflecting up and glowing the city red.
You didn't intend this, Midge. I watched I watched the Evangelion movies over the weekend, so this just immediately took me back to it's angel blood. Oh no. The oceans are ruined. Those are gonna be barren by the weekend.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
No, but this is a huge river. Like, the length of the river is like 300 miles, with like a 2-mile width at the mouth of the river into this bay, which the city is based around. It is a huge river.
Breton would be relaying that. Like, his suspicion is, if they wanted to hit the entire city at once, the best way to do that would be corrupt the source that leads into all of this, which would likely, yeah. So corrupt wherever this feeds into the city.
Mm-hmm. So Breton, I will say you've got an action should you wish it.
Oh, still have an action. I was honestly 100% I'm thinking that's just gonna be the action.
Sure. I'm of the opinion that perception checks should be bonus actions rather than actions.
Sure.
Breton
is going to cast, to see if he can help. This is going to be a 30-foot radius aura. He's going to cast Aura of Purity.
Okay, sure.
I will will drop that in the chat of what that does.
Yeah. I like
It
all
is
the
a 30-foot
PNG.
radius that each non-hostile creature in the area can't become diseased, has resistance to poison, and advantage on saving throws against effects that cause blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned, and stunned.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, that's so good. Okay. Ruby, over to you. Give me that concentration check.
Am I within 5 feet of Breton?
No, he's up still.
Oh, I said he actually did come down, so he can talk to them normally.
Sure.
And if Ruby's focusing on this, then I would say he'd probably be that close. Well, this you said the square was about 60 feet by 60 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So Breton could actually. Could he be within 30 feet of the people on the roof and within 10 feet of Ruby? With a 30-foot radius around him? Yes,
because she's 30 foot from the roof.
Then that's where he is.
And she's flying, so you'd also still be flying. Valymr's landed on the roof, which is probably about 30 foot up.
We're fine. I got it.
Cool.
21 for my con save.
Sure. Yeah, cool. Valymr.
Ruby's maintaining concentration and screaming, "Get Valymr! He's on the ground!" And
no, Valymr's on the roof. He's on the roof.
Oh,
he's on the roof treating people.
Then she's gonna flap her way up to Solvaril to land on the back of that.
So you move that 15 feet away, yeah.
Yeah, and she's sweating profusely. This is hard for her to maintain concentration.
Oh yeah,
this is 2 5s.
Yeah, this is 2 level 5s. So this is like almost like the stretching your mental beyond its limits right now. Like
she's beyond limits right now. So she's I'm not dropping it until we're out of the way and everybody is out of the square. So I'm gonna hold it as long as I can.
You see people, there's a lot of people shouting in Fionian as well. You see people are like barring their doors and stuff like down below. Like you see people like taking, so they originally got inside and now you see some run outside again to try and grab some of like the furniture and stuff that was at the cafe to try and like essentially create almost like a flood barrier. And you see people just trying to like move it. So it's like people are like, you hear shouting of like, oh, get to the 2nd floor! Like, you get, like, all sorts of, like, people just trying to say, get off the streets kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't have thaumaturgy, which, but she is going to scream at the top of her lungs. I will not, because I want to peek out Discord.
Yeah,
but
get
to high ground!
Yeah, that is just ringing out as well.
Hearing you struggle to throw your voice, I am going to use thaumaturgy to help you out on that one.
Oh, then it's going to be a boom. In Fionian, with clear commanding voice, get to high ground.
I will just repeat it in Fionian, even though I don't speak it. I get the gist, maybe, if that works.
Give me a quick performance check.
What did he say about seeking out the grounds?
Why would I want to get high on the ground?
Performance. 14?
Oh, God. You guys haven't seen Shogun, have you? The series, new one. There's a scene where the Blackthorn is yelling at the sailors he's saying, Hayeki, Hayeki! He wants to tell them to hurry, and the lead boat's like, Hayaku! Yelling at this when he's actually correcting them. Yeah, I imagine that.
Yep, okay. Valymr, what are you doing with your turn?
I want to, like, is there, how many of these people that are, like, screwed up by the blood?
Yeah.
Are there any that are, like, way worse than the others?
The guy you treated last time was probably the worst. He was the deepest in. And then there's probably 2 that are about the same after that. Who were, there's, like, one of the women that Breton rescued and another man.
I'm going to use my next 2 turns to put 5 into each of them.
Okay. Cool. So, Breton, back over to you.
Yeah, I think he's caught up on the idea of we need to find the source. So people here will have to, if we don't stop the source, the people here are going to die regardless. So he is going to probably, Solvaril will fly by. We're going to grab Valymr because he can't fly, and we need to get going. And Breton is going to direct them towards where. I guess we're just going to start looking for sources of where this may have started, but we're going to start heading towards the river. Yeah.
I'm sorry if I declare goodbye.
So all 3 of you are now on Solvaril.
Well, I think the idea is that Silveril has just grabbed Valymr, whereas Ruby and Breton are on the back.
Yes, Valymr is being he is like a coconut laden between two swallows right now. He is
Grip it by the husk.
Yep. Okay, so you are or it's like Abraham Lincoln dropping into an epic rap battle. That's an internet reference that
I don't get that reference.
Epic rap battles of history.
Yeah.
I understood the source. I don't understand the reference.
In the it's the Obama Mitt Romney rap, I think,
and also in the Trump versus Biden one. Yeah.
Yeah. Abraham Lincoln gets dropped in by a giant eagle.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah. So okay, you begin to fly. What's Silveril's fly speed?
80.
80. Okay. So you begin to fly across the city. Everybody, give me a perception check. I'm gonna say we're out of. Actually, Ruby, are you dropping con?
No, she's holding it for as long as she possibly can.
Okay.
I want people to get as far away from at least this source as she is capable of holding.
Sure.
Ow, my shoulders! Ow, my shoulders! Ow, it's big!
Oh,
I'm not looking
I will
around.
say, with every turn that you go away from the Wall of Force, outside of the 120 feet range of it, it will add 2 to the DC to hold the con.
Sure. As long as she can.
And you will be exerting your power.
As in, I'm spending spell slots, or
no, as in it's if you roll too low on the concentration check, you might exert yourself too much and take a point of exhaustion.
Fine. Here's the con save right there. Oh dear.
Well, that's a.
Sorry, I'm doing the math. Just makes it.
Yep. You rolled that next turn, it would be dropped.
I thought the DC for 2 plus 5s would be 20 by flat.
Oh no, it would be, yes.
So if this is turn 2, that's DC 25.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's gone.
Yep.
You have a +6.
I calculated that in there.
I'm gonna say for this first one,
We can't. You remember you can do things to try and save that.
I know, but I don't know.
We're just literally gonna be doing this every single turn, and the next turn's gonna be a 30. So I think if we lose it now, it's unfortunate, but like that's not the end of the world.
So you've moved 80 foot away. You see behind you just pressure of blood fountain up, and then it just
Ruby
goes back to the floor.
Bagged onto Breton, panting.
Yeah, you didn't quite get a point of exhaustion, but it was practically close there.
Hold it. I'm sorry.
And you just see, but you do see behind you that it, like, whilst it shoots up for a while and lands down, it doesn't seem to go higher than like halfway up a first floor building, and it begins to just roll down the hill. And you actually notice some of these.
You could drop just one of them.
But you failed the concentration now.
Yeah,
is the
true.
thing.
I did.
So it's that you could have done that beforehand, but
that would have been the call before you made the save. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. But you also notice that other streets, it's now becoming rivers throughout. It's like it's one of those things of probably in say like 2 or 3 turns, another river from another road would have met that square that you were in anyway. But what you did definitely saved quite a lot of lives and allowed those people to prepare themselves a lot better than other streets may have had the chance. And in fact, you see... did all of you give me a perception check?
Yeah.
Cool.
The high rolls were a 20 from Breton and a 23 from Silveril.
Okay.
And a 7 from me.
Breton, you notice this. Forms within the blood. People that have been fully overtaken. Still moving. Swimming. Joining the waves, pulling more in. That's what you see. But also, Breton, Silveril tells you, because fucking Silveril's on fire today. It tells you to look towards the high point of the city, the great chapel of the Chevaliant, the home of the living saint, and you just see a bright light emanating out of it. This bright beacon a beam of light, of holy light, and you see it begin to radiate out. There seems to be a big spell being cast up there. Like the living saint might be taking action.
That. Do we keep looking for what's causing this, or do we just trust that that's going to be a thing that we need to work with?
He's making a safe zone, is what I think he's doing.
Oh, looks like he's doing a lot more than making a safe zone. I mean, Breton's going to keep an eye on that, but like, I feel like the prerogative here is that we want to stop this at the source.
Sure.
That's part of the reason.
Absolutely, go for it. So you're flying towards the source. Cool. We're gonna leave. We're gonna do one more in turn order, I think, just for dramatic effect. So all of you are flying now towards the river, and you know the river kind of follows one of the outside walls of the city. It doesn't actually enter the city itself directly. The city is kind of have you seen like the actual like layout of River Run in the Ago universe, where it's like it is at the fork of 3 rivers and sits in like a man-made island when they can flood the moat? You can do the exact same thing with Gervalu. You could, like, there is a moat that can be opened to essentially turn the city into an island, but the city itself also expands outside the walls. So there is like parts of the city outside of the walls that are the other side of the river, and the river is huge. It's 2 miles long. It is wide width. And can I have a kebab? It'd be great. No. And you begin to move up river. You do see it's like almost like an aqueduct system that goes towards one of the gates of the city. It kind of comes because there's a mount, like the upper level of the city is like a mountain, and the river like runs around the corner of the mountain, and you see like that there is like an intake system and a water system that allows it to, you know, go up the elevation of the city as well. Are you heading towards the waterworks?
Yeah, I think that's what Breton's plan was.
Sure. Okay.
Something's got to be feeding us blood all over the city, and that's the best place to do it.
Sure.
This is Joker decided to poison the sewage treatment plant.
Yeah. All of you make me another perception check, please. As you notice the sky get darker and the red reflect more.
I can't see shit from. Wait, no, this makes perfect sense. You're all blind flying high up, and I can't see further than 100 feet.
Yeah,
0 senses.
Yep, absolutely. You can't see absolutely. Okay.
My dice knew more than me.
Would you compare this to being in like the deep ocean but in the air?
You wouldn't know what the deep ocean felt like.
No,
so.
I have 0 experience with the deep ocean. We will keep it that way.
Okay. Breton, this is you again.
Yeah, this is 15 for him and 19 for. Call, motherfuckers! Call.
You notice the trickle has become a flood properly. Every street is beginning to run thing. You also see there's a few like fires and stuff breaking out in the city, probably just through damage, people running away, you know, knocking over candles, stuff like that. Nothing like totally out of hand, but it's like the city's in chaos. This bright light that's emanating from the thing begins to expand out, and you do see it. You catch a point where it makes contact with this blood, and the blood incinerates. So there is a cleansing power, but it is slow moving, and the time is. You don't know if it will get the entire city. You don't know what the source, like the true source is, or its power, what its intent is. But right now, it seems to have like the holy hill in which all the chapter houses, etc. on. It's completely a safe zone. People could go to that. Anyway, we're out of turn order now. So, if there's anything you guys would like to do while you're flying, let me know. If not, we'll just fly towards the waterworks.
Burning some sorcery points to re-get my 5th level spell slot.
Sure.
I'll burn 10 to get 2.
Sure. So, okay. You begin to fly towards the waterworks, and it's so there is a main. You head slightly out the city, and you can, well, it's like the corner tower of the city is also a pumping station. And you notice like the water coming in at this portion of the city, like being taken from the river. It's water, like the river itself at this length, this far away, has not been afflicted. But you fly down.
Sorry, I burned 14, not 10.
You fly down, and this place is very well guarded. But there's also like panic going on. So you can land on the wall of the city and make your way into like one of the top entrances to this place, or you could fly all the way down and land in the city itself. However, you do notice around it, again, the streets are running with blood.
Guarded by whom?
There seems to be like royal guards.
Are they not reacting to the blood at all?
Oh yeah, no, there's panic. They are like it's hard to say because they're kind of like, it's one of those things of kind of, they're at their post atop a giant wall, and like they're like, all they can do is kind of watch below.
Okay.
At least the people that you can see. And there is a panic in them, and there is like a, if you look around, you do see people like running the length of the wall trying to get, like, it seems like people are trying to get information kind of.
OPST, Orbital Phoenix Shock Trooper. Just drop me in.
I was gonna say, I think Breton would put them down right next to these guards, because if we need to question anybody, we need to question them. And he's gonna see what's out. The sewage and the fountains all over the city are spewing this blood everywhere. It's got to be fed from somewhere. We need somebody who knows how this would run.
One of the guards is like, oh, we got the message. It's hold on. The head engineer of this place, a man by Lawman, he's inside. He can't stop the flow. He's been trying to stop it, turn it off.
Let's go.
They don't stop you. They are essentially at a loss of what to do. And they let you into the building. And what you see is this, you hear the hum of machinery and of pumping water. And you hear water running through pipe works, but you also hear like glooping and all sorts of things with a deeper thickness than water. And you see a big set of bellows towards the far side of the building, and this man like there's like a couple of hurried engineers running around, and one main one who is just like trying to turn valves above these large steam gaskets, one of which seems like it's blown completely. And it's currently slightly on fire. Not a huge amount, but it's like the furnace is burning hot.
Right then. We all just had the same thought of like, well, what do we do in this situation? We got to think about it.
Ruby, I've already got Ruby's thinking 3 things. Look for a source of corruption. Find the blood silver. It's out here. Ruby can potentially smother the fire with another wall of force. Just deprive it of oxygen. Just put it right over the furnace. How big's the furnace? Or the fire in the furnace?
20 foot of fire. Like, these are big. These are pumping steam bellows. And it's one of those things of, it's like there's a cat. It's basically there's fire like coming out of, it is an exhaust funnel, but there's just so much of it that it's kind of overspinning. It's not like the fire is a problem. It's more the fact of this, from what little knowledge of you've seen how steam works, because the skyship ran on it, so I'm not going to call you complete fools on it, but it's that there is so much pressure in the system right now that this man cannot stop it right now. The water is just pumping and flowing.
Didn't Zedaar and Zep actually like brainstorm a steam engine at some point? Yeah, it was the original train.
Yeah,
the original wagon.
Can you sense any blood silver in this region? Well, can we locate it with Valymr's power?
I can do a divine doodad.
If it's blocked away by any solid structure, we're not going to sense it. We would need detect evil and good.
Do I have that one? I do have that one. I'll do it.
If you have it prepared, great. While you're doing that, Breton is just looking at like, so they're having trouble closing these gaskets. Can Breton just be like, just step in and do his best?
You can absolutely try and help turn these valves.
I am going to detect the evil and the good.
Sure. There's one valve that he's trying to push. It's going to be a DC 25 athletics check, please.
DC 25 athletics. Okay.
Literally the only one who can pass this is you.
That's a 28.
Okay. You see this man. You run down like the what's it called, like the awnings and the scaffold that kind of builds up the inside of this chamber to get it in between all the machinery. You see this head engineer who is he's probably at like, it's like one of those men who's like late 40s, early 50s, but really built just because he's been a working man his entire life. He's like, and he's got like flowing sort of almost musketeer hair, and like he's got this, and it's just sweat down his brow. He's just like, he's slightly getting it, but it's just like.
We've made this before. He looks like the main male character on any like erotic like romance novel. But like probably not wearing a shirt, sweaty, beefy as hell because you work in a place that's probably like 100 degrees all day long.
Yeah, Silver Fox still like proper, and he's getting it, but like the steam is kind of pushing him back every now and then. He can't get, and you just get the other side of it, and just like you lock eyes, nod, and shove upwards, like following the counterclockwise direction, and it's just. And you just see, and the bellows just begin to cough as they run out of steam, and like you see all of the trap doors on all the furnaces just like shutter close and he's just like, and this is just like looks at you just with a nod. Valymr, you're doing detect good and evil, right?
I am indeed, yes.
So it's up to
within
10 minutes. 30 feet.
Yeah.
So you give me an investigation check then.
Sure. 11.
Okay. So you're searching. The rest of you, I'm just going to give just a description of the room now that you've got there's less panic. You notice that there is like elements of blood, like sort of. It's one thing. You've got an area where it's like there's water wheels and a big rush of water from the river. It seems to be clear, but then you notice in like other elements there is like some of the pipes are dripping with blood, some of the gaskets have been blown with blood, and then you see these individuals have like closed them off with like emergency valves, and there's a couple of people in the corner that seem to be like being treated by another one of the workmen. Breton, you also noticed the guy that was pushing, like properly, but you also see like up the side of his body, he's clearly been splashed, and it's kind of like bubbled and pustuled slightly. Where he's been like hit by infected blood, but managed to shake it off and continue working. Valymr, you continue to search. Is there anything you two would like to do, Ruby and Breton?
I'll heal the guy. I'll give him 5 points of lay on hands for health and 5 points to cure any diseases he might have on him.
Sure. He only needs about 3 hit points of health, but he definitely needs the disease level.
I'll give myself 2 points back. Fine.
Yeah. You're going to need these resources. I'm not going to bully you for them all. I'll be reasonable here.
How long was the flight here?
3 minutes, 4 minutes, if that.
So Aura Purity should also be back still up because it's a 10-minute cast.
Oh, yeah.
Or 10-minute last.
Yeah. Ruby, you doing anything?
She's looking for... Probably going to cast Detect Magic.
Sure.
And see if we can spot the same runic chaos panic sigils
Absolutely.
that she had seen
Give me a
before.
Detect
Or
Magic.
no, she's going to use her Gem of Seeing.
Sure. Okay.
To see past the normal realm and into the ethereal.
Sure.
Does your Gem of Seeing allow you to go like how many feet forward with True Sight, or is it just like as far as you can see?
As far as I can see, yeah.
That's definitely got an advantage over my blindfold.
Yeah. You have
That's
to
a good idea too.
Mine,
Yeah, but mine's
the-
only within 10 feet is my True Sight.
and then the rest is
So I guess-
like
Blind sight.
Blind sight. That's
Blind
it.
sight.
Yeah, like Daredevil kind of, I can see the water drops in the rain.
So I'm going to pose this question to Midge because it has dawned on me. So when we were at the temple, there was lots of corruption on the walls in the ethereal plane based on how the Bloodserver affected this. If she starts looking at this for True Sight, is that something that she can track?
that's what I'm looking for.
That's what you're looking for. Okay.
Maybe. Okay.
I would not want to look at the city right now. By the way, I imagine that's a chaos. That's a chaos warp level of like. Ugh.
Really better than I was going to say. It's called the Bukake of Blood right now, but...
Oh no.
All right then. Anyways.
Oh no.
Enjoy that mental image, folks.
Oh no. What in the German VHS tape is this?
That is, 1d6 psychic damage.
I think that just raised the rating of our podcast.
I already raised us in like season 3. No, I raised this from 15 to an 18 in season 2. What am I kidding? We've been listed as
Anyway,
whole deer for a while.
Was that also Beth's fault?
It may have been. Anyway, I think we're collectively evil. As individuals. Anyway, so Valymr, I'm going to start with you. You are not sensing anything directly in here that is... No, okay. Actually, you are slightly.
Okay.
You're finding some evil, or that smell of evil in the furnaces. However, it's faint now. It's a really sulfuric taste. And actually, it's so strong, some of you can taste this in your mouth. Might have been something added to the fuel to make those burn a little too hot today. Make sure that there was extra water pumping, perhaps. You may think. Ruby, you do see chaos in the blood. You don't see, like, arcane sigils. It's not anything like that this time. You see vein-like creatures. Microorganisms almost. Probably no bigger than a finger in length each. All of them splaying out like starfishes made of veins.
Invisible or ethereal?
They are invisible within the blood. It's almost like that the blood is a swarm of these creatures.
But did the True Sight just give you like microscope vision into the blood, and you're seeing what's actually making the blood up?
Essentially.
Yeah.
Would I have seen that when I was on the roof with the people? Or is those little creatures... I'm True Sight within 10 feet.
You might have had a chance to see it when you got close to the blood, but not on the people. It's like one of those things of... So it's like almost like the infections on these people are like a jellyfish sting.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to watch as Ruby will cast Scorching Ray.
Yeah.
And target is... How many of them are there?
How many liters of blood are in this room? It's like they are like that each. So each cubic feet is probably like 100, 200, 300.
Oh, that's a lot more than a Scorching Ray can handle.
Yeah, so this would be like targeting a swarm in the same way that you target a swarm of rats kind of thing. Or,
I mean, you do enough damage, it will put it down.
Yeah, like, this is the thing. Breton has seen that you can damage the blood.
Yeah, you can fight the blood.
You can fight the blood.
But it regenerates. Is the source here, though?
It seems like there's nothing in this room from what you're getting. You're sensing that there has been corruption here, but it's not the source of the corruption. Mainly, it's like almost like this area is where the actual water is meeting the corruption, and you get the sense that whatever this is slightly further downstream than the actual pumping station, but this place has been tampered with to pull more water than normal.
Then she's gonna tap Brett on the shoulder and go, "What we're looking for is not here, but I think we can track it from here." And she's gonna follow the circuit, basically.
Okay. The Lorgan, the guy that was pointed out as Lorgan, the head engineer that Breton has just healed. He like sort of wipes the sweat off his brow and says, there is an access path through the ductwork down deeper into the water source. I sent 4 of my crew down there to try and get to the main shutoff to cut off the flow to the city. They have not come back yet.
Right. We'll handle it. Mama, Breton, shall we?
Yeah, I'll follow.
Cool. Absolutely.
Ruby will let Breton lead the way. Because she's not going to be first for shit.
Sure. You've still got...
He said access tunnel, and Breton just immediately saw, this is going to be like a 4-foot tall tunnel.
No, you see, it's
okay.
It's like the entrance to like a big flume ride.
Okay.
Like there's a pool of water that is also now like it's water meeting blood, and this water would normally be flowing straight down this tunnel to like probably a main distribution chamber, and it would be pumped down there. Right now, it's now been shut off. The water is not flowing heavily. The pressure buildup has been dealt with slightly, so it's now just like this. It's almost like a flat, lazy river, probably 10 foot across, of this like water blood creature mix with a pathway either side, and it's probably like a 10-foot semicircle. So right next to the wall, it will be like tighter, but like it's like you've got headroom. You're just gonna have to lean, Breton, if you're that tall. It's also dark. There isn't lights, if that matters to either of you.
It matters to everyone. He doesn't have a blindfold. But Breton does have a lantern.
You do glow slightly as well.
He does also glow because his armor, yes. But he'll also turn a lantern on so they have further vision than just 5 feet of dim immediately around him.
Dancing lights.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, and you progress on down. After probably not even 10 minutes, you get to this 20-foot circular room that is just like a drain. And you just hear this rush of water that's like going over the edge of it. And you also hear the of that water like half coagulating as it goes down and it turns more into blood. Valymr.
Yes.
Your detect good and evil is triggering in the center of this like waterfall. There is something under the water there that is like, as the water is hitting it, it's corrupting and going off and down.
I will point this out, bring out my glaive, point it at the thing. It's like, it's there. That something there in the waterfall.
Breton, you also notice that like this whole like drain is like, there's the ability to turn a giant sort of wheel in order to close it off, and put almost like an iris over it, like Stargate iris over the over the hole. It's been partially started to close, but hasn't been completed.
I'm guessing the people who sent on ahead tried to do this. Something didn't let them. We should be on guard. But I'm going to try and finish that off while you guys are taking care of the actual source of corruption.
Ruby's going to look down into it with her true sight.
Cool. You don't see anything other than these, like... There's, like... You see the creatures in the blood. That's kind of the only thing you see. There's nothing else that you see right now.
Valymr, would you mind throwing down an Eldritch Blast?
I will do that. Straight into the middle of the corrupty, nonsensey.
You're going to try and hit
there.
the thing that's under the water.
Eldritch Blast can go through water,
Breton
right?
said he was going to try and close the iris.
Okay, Breton's going to try and close the iris. Valymr is going to try and destroy the thing.
Yeah.
Not that you know what it is. Okay. Valymr. Give me a spell attack, please.
Yeah.
They're just smiling.
Do you want to let me go first so we can actually see what we're shooting at?
Yeah, okay. Oh, right, yeah.
Because if I close the iris, the water stops flowing and it should be visible.
No, that's good. That's a good call. Yes. Sorry, I misunderstood when you said you close the iris. I thought, oh, so we wouldn't be able to see it. But no, you're talking about cutting off the water.
Cut the water off from it. I think that's how I believe this was told to us, yes?
Okay, now I understand.
Closing the iris would stop the gloopy water going into what seems to be the rest of the city.
So it's not stopping the feed into
It wouldn't stop. It wouldn't stop the conversion, no. But it would stop the city being fed.
But
we'll do that anyway.
Would this room then start filling up with water?
Start filling up with blood.
It would start filling up with blood.
That's slightly better than water. Yeah, I agree.
Only slightly, though, because it would essentially... The iris room would become a pool. And because there isn't any water being pumped, there isn't a risk of overflow now.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've hit this in the right order, kind of thing. Okay. Bren, start giving me an athletics check, please.
Sure. 30.
Oh my god. You... And just begin the spinning process, and the iris begins to close. And you hear... deep down in the tunnel as it just goes... close.
Is that a creature or the sound of the blood?
Give me a perception check.
Hard to say. Okay. Sure. 9, 10.
Hard to say. Valymr, you see the water begins to level out and begins to pool. Just give me a perception check. Both, actually, Ruby and Valymr do this to see if, with the change in flow of the water, if anything is revealed to you.
14.
You stop asking me to make perception checks.
I
don't do those.
Ruby does not perceive.
Sure. Valymr, actually, you do just about see the corner of something metallic. It doesn't seem to be blood silver, but it's more like a
How far away is it from me?
Probably about 15 foot, but it's under the water. You just saw like the tip of it. It looks to be like a probably like 3 foot by 3 foot cube by the corner, like that you saw.
I will point it out to Ruby. There's something there under the water. I can't make out what it is with blind sight, but I'll point it out.
She'll look at it now that she's pointed out to her.
Yeah, there seems to be, you see this sort of similar. You see like the top panel of what seems to be like this metallic cube under the water. It's harder to make out than the rest of it.
Does it ping for my detect good and evil?
Oh yeah, this is how you found it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like that's how it was pointed out to you in the first place.
You said it was a 10-foot cube?
No, it's like a 3 foot by 3 foot cube that's down there. and it seems to be being suspended there. And it's like as the water hits it, it's converting into the blood.
Okay. She's gonna point a finger at it. Her finger will glow a very bright red. The focus is on a point, and she is going to cast Incinerate at it. It's Disintegrate, but fire.
Sure. Make me a spell.
If it's an object that's 5 feet by 5, any smaller than 5 feet by 5 feet, it's dust. It can't move, so I'm assuming it's just a.
No, it's okay. You shoot the fire out your finger. You see the water like turn to steam around it. It carves a straight line towards it. And this, I'm going to make everyone make a perception check again, now that it's like more visible. That's if Breton, if you've come back over, or if you're staying near the iris, so to speak.
He did come back over. I imagine he's keeping we got the weapon of warning. Yeah, he's paying attention. Sure.
And I've got alert anyway. I can't be.
22. Breton. You see what seems to be a cube of bronze-ish, blackish metal be struck by this fire. The damage seems only to be like taking off superficial plating, like design elements are being removed from this thing. But deep within the center of the cube, in like an open side that was not revealed until the water was evaporated around it instantaneously, you see what seems to be like a magic swirling circle, a portal, if you will.
You mean to roll damage out of curiosity?
Yeah, roll damage. But this is considered a magical item. Therefore, it's not instantaneously
78.
Destroyed. 78 damage is a lot. You see, like, Breton, you see, like, the heat just, like, start to melt the corner of this cube. Like, bronze, like, almost like there was, like, grotesques that were, like, carved into it of, like, smiling and, like, grimaces. They're all just now just melting because of this extreme heat. And the portal within it does flicker slightly, but continues to be open. And you hear like ominous sounds coming from the portal now that it's not submerged.
Is there anything suspending this, or is this just kind of like suspended?
Yeah, it's chained, like it's held into the center of the river by like chains that are like bracketed in either side. Those would be considered non-magical. So if you wanted to try and cut it free, very doable.
Do I need to clap it with radiant damage? Because I got that too.
Maybe if we get someone on the other side of the bridge, cut the chain, and then we can drag it out of the water on this side.
I don't know why we want to move it. I can probably destroy it.
We'll move it out of the water because this is what's converting the water into blood.
I mean, do we want to take a look at it to see if we can understand what's going on?
Before we blow it up, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, Valymr, are you going to try and cross to the other side?
Fuck no.
We're going to get another...
fly over.
We're going to see a season 1 pole vault return?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure, you can fly over.
If you can fly over and cut the chain, and maybe Breton can drag it over, or...
Yeah, I'll just fly over. And...
So, Breton, you prep yourself on the chain that's remaining attached to bring this object to shore. Ruby, how are you cutting the chain?
She's not. She's going to melt it.
Okay.
Just grab it and hold on long enough until her...
Okay, sure.
Natural fire ability will just...
Takes a little bit because it's raw iron. But
it's coordinating me faster.
And it's underwater as well.
That doesn't really matter so much.
Can you roll me a Constitution saving throw?
Sure.
Just as you submerge your hand slightly. Get the chain out.
29.
You're fine.
That should be down by 5, but still.
You feel it's like one of those things of, oh god, this is not good, and you manage to shake it off before any null effects, but your hand is like reddened with like almost like sunburn on your skin, which is rare for you.
This doesn't happen to me.
Exactly. But it's just like
I don't burn, I tan.
it's like your hand has been slightly in acid almost.
Sure.
But not acidic. You manage to avoid any damage. You begin to start melting this. It's going to take a little while, but after I will say, Aura of Purity probably ends.
Sure.
And I would say that Detect Good and Evil only has about 2 minutes left, if that.
This thing under the waterfall, is it a creature, or is that the box that we're thinking that we're seeing? You said there was that thing that I saw under the water.
Yes, this cube.
I thought there was something before the cube.
No, this was the cube. This is again. This is what you saw.
Okay, they're the same thing.
Yeah,
sorry, I thought there was two different things. No. Okay, my bad then.
Breton did hear a noise below the iris. This is what
I was going to shoot the Eldritch Blast at.
Yes, this would have been what you were trying to shoot.
I thought there were different things. Sorry.
No. And it's like, you see it now, like as you can after. Actually, probably by the time it's all melted through, also Detect Good and Evil drops out. But you could pull it to shore. It's not a huge strength thing. I mean, against the weight of the water, it's a little tough. But Breton, eventually you can pull it to shore. Ruby, you can fly it back over, and it's just. It is like a companion cube. That's the easiest way to describe the size. It is covered in like each. So it's like on the top and a bottom, and then each side has like an open mouth and a face on it.
Oh, lovely.
And one of each, so like north, south, east, and west, each has a giant face on it. And like the open mouth on one side, which was aimed at the water, is like an open mouth grimace, and it's like taking it, and in that mouth is like a portal that keeps now flickering. And then on the other side, there is another portal out of another mouth that was ejecting water. Like it was.
Could this be a portal to the hells?
I don't know.
It's also covered in infernal script, but it seems to be abyssal.
Can I read it?
What does it say?
It's not exactly words. It's like portal script. It's like teleportation circle sort of. It's like teleportation circle glyphs, but in abyssal.
Okay. I mean, either we could try and destroy it with some radiant damage. Does it look like the like Breton still has the big amulet doodad on, right?
Yes, the one that the amulet of celestial gold that detects blood silver.
Yeah.
Is this companion cube glowing red?
Oh yeah, but the portal itself was also it was already kind of red hue, but it's kind of hard to see in the blood. It's very much glowing, very red. Also the that's a point. The Elysian gold is kind of screaming slightly. Like there's a high pitched whine coming from it, like it's being stressed under pressure.
Does it look like anything's happening to it with true sight?
No, not really. Other than it's glowing,
right.
Too. It's like one of those things of like, it's like putting putting a microphone against an amplifier.
I imagine Breton looking at it like this is very much like you put two opposing elements in the same room, and whichever element is the more powerful element is the one that is overtaking the other one. And while the Elysian gold we are detecting the blood silver has been able to like just show it off, and the blood silver has been responding to it, this is the time where this box is stronger than this amulet.
Yes. That's kind of what's happening.
A worry that I have is if we destroy it like we did the other ones, it feels like if this kind of goes, pop when it's hit with radiant damage and like explodes, then there's going to be a lot of shards of blood silver going into the river. And I think if we do try and destroy it, I think we need to contain it first.
Hmm.
So, like, maybe a wall of force to contain it when we try and destroy it, potentially?
Something to seal it in so it doesn't burst all over the place. I mean, I suppose there's some...
You would know that this isn't actually made of blood silver. Just as a thing, you get the impression that the actual reaction from the Elysian Gold is coming from the portal itself.
Okay.
It's like... this is something that would be an... It's like... Just make an Arcana check, Ruby. Ruby, give me an Arcana check for me.
Deadly. Those I can do.
I have proficiency in Arcana. Can I do that too?
Yeah.
I never mind. I don't need to.
23.
This seems like it's got a portal to one of the planes of hell into it.
Yeah.
At least in a small form. Whether it's a plane of hell or if it's part of one of the abyssal planes, it's just like, this is no good. No bueno. This is a no bueno mini portal. The Elysian Gold, which is God Metal, is like, oh no, I'm hearing the screams of the damned. Please help me. That's kind of the reaction that's going on, just to explain it. And this isn't exactly it's made of blood silver. It's like, no, this is the source of where blood silver was made. Oh. You could possibly
Is it possible
try to
dispel?
You could try to dispel it, probably. It will be a very, very difficult dispel magic if you were trying to do, but there might be a way to just shut the box off as well. You would surmise with your Arcana, Ruby.
I will try that.
All right.
Okay.
While they're looking at that, Breton is going to examine, now that there's just water flowing in, without a source of blood, does it seem like the blood is being diluted by the water?
Like further down the river.
In what way? Are
Like,
you saying?
Because obviously we saw that...
Okay, yeah. The blood is not dissolving and going for good. It is staying, like, almost, if like getting oil in water. It's like that.
Mm-hmm. They don't mix. Okay. So we can't use the blood to just wash away. We can't use the water to just wash away the blood. It's not going to be that easy.
No,
but
and
I think at this
it's almost like the blood is consuming the water slightly.
Blood is still consuming the water. So we would. Okay, so we're not going to let the water flow. That's fine. We're keeping the water shut off.
Give me an investigation check to see if you can find a shut off on this box or a way to.
Oh. We were doing so well, and then he made me do investigation. 17.
You got it. I believe in you.
Okay, yeah, you find a couple of arcane sigils that you feel like you could disrupt and it would close this portal.
Then she will focus her fire sorcery upon it to disfigure the sigils.
Sure. You do that, and as you do, the mouth like closes shut, and it's just a grimace teeth, and the portal that was ejecting also, and it closes. It's now a sealed box.
Still think that is destroying.
And this is essentially an inert portal stone, or like a lodestone.
Sequence on it.
Kind of. It's similar script to a teleportation circle. It's not like it is a teleportation circle. It's like the glyphs to open a portal.
I'm gonna copy that sequence down anyway, if I can.
Yeah,
I know it's not a circle, but
give me a sleight of hand check, but with using your spell casting rather than dexterity. So give me a proficiency charisma.
I'm gonna do favorite
Sorcery point.
gods. Huh?
You have sorcery points. You can reroll that.
Yeah, I do.
How many sorcery points you got left?
3.
It's been a long day.
Well, no, I burned 10 of
14 to remake those 5th levels was expensive.
Did you not burn any in any of the investigations earlier? Because you guys haven't rested. Okay.
I've been conserving.
Mostly. You guys have not rested since you got to Giverloo. It is one long day.
God bless America.
13. You think you've got it, mostly.
Okay.
it's hard to do. It's because it's also relying slightly on your memory because you've burnt some of them off and stuff, and there was damage as well to the exterior of the with your immolate. That this is pretty battered up. Like, it's one of those things of the portal wasn't holding properly anyway already, so yeah. Put it this way: you've undetonated the bomb right now. But it's still, yeah.
Still think we need to destroy it.
No.
No?
As
It's a
odd
portal
as
from
this-
hell.
As odd as that sounds, Valymr, I think we have a way to get to who's doing this.
I mean,
Portals go two ways.
sure, but
If
this
I can-
portal's like this big.
Okay, got it. If I can accurately transcribe it, if I can get the sequence to somebody who knows portals better than I do, we might be able to find a direct path to who's causing this trouble and go at the source. We will have to stop playing whack-a-mole. Is that even a thing in this? Whack-a... You know what I mean.
I think it's worth at least keeping alarm just for a moment. I want to have a proper look at this thing. I want somebody to have a proper look at this thing. I want to know everything it's capable of. Because this thing has... This is a cube. 2 mouths were open. There were more than 2. This thing can do a lot more than what it was doing.
With our mouths on every side of it.
Yes.
Ooh, balls. Okay.
If we can get this to the Iron Duke or somebody who knows this kind of magic better than I do.
Don't know if we need to go all the way to the Iron Duke just for this. I'm sure we can find someone.
Oh, give me enough time to study it.
I did also hear something farther along the tunnel. I don't know if it was just the blood or if there was something else that came through.
I don't think this cube would have killed those crew workers. There might be something else further along.
I
do
don't
put
either.
this cube there.
Well, let's stow this for now. Do we have a bag of holding? I don't think we do.
Also, it probably wouldn't fit in a bag of holding, and
It's a 3 foot by 3 foot cube. This thing's huge.
yeah, this thing's like 30-40 pounds as well, because it's just a hunk of metal. It is.
Hold still, Breton. And Ruby is going to take some rope and just strap it onto his belt or his backpack.
Can we just leave it here for the time being?
No, we're not.
It's a 3 foot by 3 foot cube of pure metal. This thing weighs a hell of a lot more than 40 pounds.
It's true. How much
Hey,
is
the
this?
DM said it weighs 40 pounds. I'm going with 40
Hold
pounds.
on.
Don't give the DM more ammunition.
It's like 1 meter cubed.
Either way, you're a bloody Goliath. Calm down.
Like,
I mean, it can also just be hand waved. It's a lot lighter because it is a special
It's
metal.
hollow. It's also hollow.
Okay, so hollow goes a long way.
If this was made of water, it would be a ton, roughly.
Ooh, it's not made of water. It's also hollow.
Yeah, is it more? It's also more dense than water because it didn't float.
It's fine. All right. I guess I'll lug it around because
I don't want
can't
somebody
slip it
getting
in.
up and walking away with it.
It's a
Other than
ton,
us.
at least. I don't think anyone's.
Yeah,
Stop it,
so-
Valymr!
that was my logic. If it's so heavy that I can't move it, it's not
No.
getting moved.
Yeah,
But
how heavy?
if someone else can move it, then I'll just take it with us. Like either way.
Yeah. You are now all left in the tunnels, and there's just a like creaking metal deep in the piping system.
I think there's something else that we need to be here for.
Something put this here
Yeah,
that we have not found.
Yes.
I think we leave it where it is. To prove, I'm gonna grab onto the chain, try and move it, fail miserably, and then okay, it's too heavy. No one can move this. Let's go
I
find.
like how the players tell the
Brown.
DM what it weighs.
I mean-
It will take Breton with 2 hands or 2 people with 2 hands to carry this.
Yeah, I'll Breton will have to carry it and drop it when we get into any situations that require it, but he'll lug it along.
Sure. You're gonna like.
It's either that or
Wait,
we
just
run it
strap it
back
to his
up towards
back.
the Royal Guards.
If you carry this for way too long, it might start to exhaust you a little bit. But yeah, it's a chunky piece, but you can grab it. Now, what would you like to do?
Follow
Source
the
of the
road.
noise.
Source of noise seems to be below that iris that Breton closed.
With the cube gone, we could probably reopen it.
I think that would be a good idea.
Okay.
Okay, I'll reopen it.
Just a little bit, see if it's still blood, or do we have to shake it a little bit to make sure there's nothing
Right.
left?
As you begin to turn the iris open, you feel like something else pushing on the other end, and it opens very quickly. And you see like blood kind of like grab all the sides of the iris now that it has purchase and begin to push it in, and a large tendril, probably 40 foot in diameter, bursts out of the iris and just and I need you all to roll initiative as you are met with a room-sized tendril of blood.
Alrighty then.
There is no battle map for this because it's going to be slightly theatre of the minded here
What the
because this token would be larger than the map. This is you're fighting an environment more than anything.
27.
Okay, who are you and what have you done
30
with
or
them?
26.
Jesus Christ.
13. And I have alert, so I go faster in initiative. I
Okay.
just can't roll. Like
Luckily,
shit.
this thing is going in initiative order 1. So, Valymr.
Yes.
There is a probably 40 foot tall, at least of what you can see of it, giant tentacle made of pure blood. You can see slightly with your vision, ethereal vision, that it's made up of loads and loads and loads of these little blood swarm creatures. It is essentially a swarm manifest. It's like a gargantuan swarm monster.
I'm going to say it's made up of those tiny doodads. Some kind of area of effectiveness would be the best thing for it.
What do you want to do?
Would you say that this thing is
This counts as
No, that
one
wouldn't work.
creature for now.
right? I'm gonna
Whilst
start
it's a
off with
swarm, it's
some-
one targetable creature.
Okay, well I'm gonna start off with some Eldritch Blast then.
Yeah, go for it. Absolutely, go for it.
Yeah, okay. So I can't target anything, so we'll do
No, just roll. The to hit isn't very high.
22.
Yep, hits. Roll damage.
7.
7 points of damage. Nice.
18.
18 hits. Roll damage.
9.
Yeah, you get the
And
impression
last
it's not
one.
very difficult to hit a, building-sized tentacle. If you were
And
missing
then
it, it'd be
another-
an issue.
12 damage.
12 damage. Good looking out. Nice.
Then as my No, I don't know what I'm going to do anyway. Yeah, I don't know what to do with my bonus action, so I'm going to look while someone else takes a turn. All right, that's it.
Sure. Okay. Next in the initiative order is Breton. I think.
How big is this iris?
40 foot.
So a 20-foot radius.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not gonna try and clog it with the moonbeam. I'm just gonna also draw swords and
Start cutting
stab
up
at
the blood
the.
jelly tentacle.
Very similar to what he did to the dragon. I think he's gonna just try and like circle around the iris and just cut along its entire
Nice.
width.
Yeah. Cool.
First swing, 24. hits for...
If it bleeds, you can kill it, but what if it's made of all blood?
It's 8 points of slashing, 1 point of radiant damage, if that matters.
Okay.
That's a natural 1. I somehow missed the fucking tentacle.
It's not that you miss, it's the thickness, the gloopiness just kind of bloop around the sword.
And another 18.
18 hits.
Or so no, it's 19 to hit for 18 damage.
Yeah, 18 damage to everything hits. As a note, its AC is 12.
Okay, so it's literally you miss it on a natural 1. That's fair. Fair. Yeah. No, Breton is just gonna cleave into it, circling around it. Yeah.
Okay. Ruby, over to you.
Would this thing qualify as an ooze or tentacle? That's
possibly an ooze. It's.
If anything was an ooze, this thing would be an ooze.
Yeah, probably ooze-ish.
Sure. Then I will cast Sunbeam.
Okay.
And if it qualifies as an ooze or an undead, it has disadvantage on the saving throw.
Okay.
And I will cast it at... It doesn't matter because I'm out of 6, but I'll cast it at 7th. I'm going to cast Sunbeam at 7th. It has no upcast, though, so...
It fails, so roll damage.
That was... shit.
Oh, whoa, holy moly.
251622. Ooh.
Oof. Anyway, still damage. Yeah, it looked like it took all of... You just see the boom, sunbeam like burn a hole, which then bleeds, and then the bleeding coagulates.
Doesn't seem to do anything special, though?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't.
My turn.
Nice. Okay, it's its turn. And it's going to take a swipe at all of you as the tentacle kind of winds up and just like begins to try and wipe the entire room. And like as it hits certain objects, it like splashes as well. So I need to roll. Oh no, this is in the wrong. All of you make a dexterity saving throw, please. DC 18.
If you're within 5, 10 with me, dexterity save.
Bloody hell, my roll! I've rolled like shit all day.
23.
I'm out of sorcery points too.
So, Breton, you got a natural 20.
Yeah.
You evade all damage on this. Valymr, you take half as much. Ruby, you're taking the full amount. Oh god, I can't pick up multiple die right now.
Get tummy. Get that husky tummy.
So 34 points of necrotic damage to Ruby. Halved to
17.
To you. Breton, you avoid it. Ruby, make a constitution saving throw.
$32.
You feel the splash and the necrosis like take over you, but you seem to avoid any illness or poison that might have come from that.
And I maintain concentration on my spell.
You do. Okay, back to the top of the turn order. Which I realize I think should have been Breton, not Valymr.
No, because Valymr didn't get the +5 on his initiative on the combat tracker.
Okay, so it is Valymr.
So I am going to start using the glaive this time.
Sure.
And we are going to go with a blinding smite. So I'm going to... That's my bonus action, and we're going to pop that on me.
Okay.
And then we're going to try and hit it with the glaive.
Yeah, go for it.
32 to hit.
Yeah,
if
that
only
hits.
I'd done If only I'd done Hexblade's Curse, that would have been a crit. Oh gosh. And now I am going to put in a level 2 Divine Smite.
Okay.
I said Blinding Smite, didn't I? Yeah, okay. I'm out of second level spell slots now. Alright, so damage is 24, of which bloody 13 is radiant.
Sure.
And I'm going to try and hit him again.
Go for it.
That would actually, in fact, be an natural 20.
Nice. Absolutely.
Now I know where all the
nice.
rolls are today.
I'm going to do Divine Smite level 3, because I have
Sure.
a couple of third level spell slots, but I don't
for
have a
it.
doodad for it.
Mhm. I
So
believe
might
if you
need
hold
to...
shift, it will automatically roll as a crit.
Oh no, it's going to roll as a crit. I just don't have a spell action in my sheet for Divine Smite level 3.
Why didn't you make one?
Well, because it's the first time I could try. It would be
believe-
48 radiant, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think
Yes.
it's 48
It
radiant.
would be.
Okay. Or more if it's a fiend. I don't know.
No.
Anyway, I'll
Technically
start off
counts
with...
as an ooze. Ish.
That would be the regular damage, and then the Divine Smite damage 4d8 would be that.
Oh, that was almost all 8.
Oh, fuck!
God damn. Yeah, I do know where the rolls have gone today.
Oh,
Beth, it
boy.
seems like somehow Lambert has unlost his streak
That's
of-
doubled. Because it's a crit. That's doubled.
You didn't do the double on that. No.
No, I did
God.
4d8 and it needs to double, so that's 58.
So roll 4 more d8, Lambert.
Roll for
Are
the
we
D8.
doubling
You should have
That's
rolled.
not
You should have
rolling
rolled
them.
8
You
d8.
rolled
No,
the
you
dice
rolled the
amount.
dice.
Roll the
Okay.
dice amount, yeah.
Less good.
Still
Less
decent,
good,
though.
but we'll still take it. We're still taking it. Yeah, so there would be my damage.
Yeah.
What's that? 75?
Yeah, that's a decent amount of damage. Is that your turn?
Yeah, I don't think I can get much better than that.
Yep. Breton, over to you. This thing is still going. It looks like it is taking... It looks damaged. You do see, like, its form slightly diminishing, but it's... There's a lot of this thing.
Okay. Well, if damage is working, then damage we shall continue. Breton is... I'm going to say Breton is actually going to maintain his position near the group. He's not going to back off. That's a bad idea. We're just going to swing. Swing, swing. 19. For 9.
9.
If that 19 had been on instant, that would have been a natural 20. For 17 more.
Nice. Okay. Breton, with your final hit, you hit it. Boom, and the form, like a large chunk leaves it. And you see the tentacles separate. Like it can't hold its singular form. And there's now 2 of them. But smaller. I now need to roll initiative on Tentacle 2.
Oh, okay.
It's split into 2 oozes, because that's what oozes do.
I can't find my dice.
Good news. We've doubled the number of targets Sunbeam can hit.
Very true.
Let's just keep doing that until you can hit all of them with all of them with AoE spells.
Okay, so there's now
Okay.
one at initiative order 16.
Can I just test something and moment? I just made myself a Divine Smite 3, so I just want to test if that's working. Nope.
Okay. So, Breton, is that your turn?
Yep.
Okay, Ooze 2 is now going to be taking a swipe. I need you all to make a dexterity saving throw.
I don't know. I'll make this many things. Dex save. All right.
Okay,
19.
the DC is lessened because it's a smaller surface area. The DC is not 18 anymore, it's 16. So you all succeed, so you're going to be taking half as much damage. An awful roll. You take 17 points of necrotic damage, halved.
8.
That's that one's turn. Ruby, over to you.
Pew, both of them.
Pew pew, go for it.
It's just a DC 20 Constitution saving throw for both of them.
Okay. They both fail.
On top of that, they should be blinded if they can be.
They can't be.
I didn't think so. 31. Hey, there's some rolls. 31 points of radiant damage to both of them.
Nice. Yeah, that looked like it wailed them both. You see the hole again carve all the way through and then it begin to coagulate. Coagulate. Okay. Word of the day. And then it's the one of the initiative order 1 is going. So, dexterity saving throws, friends.
Yeah. 18.
You will make it, so it's 25 points halved. You don't have to make
12.
the con saves.
Up to
12 points damage?
I think so. It's rounded down.
I'm going to Stone's Endurance that just to see. So reduce it by 5.
Okay, back at the top of the turn order. Valymr, back over to you.
Gonna do some more slashing at it, I guess.
Okay. One on the left or the one on the right?
The one that I hit before.
Cool.
19.
That hits.
For damage, and then I hit it again. 30 for damage. 11 damage.
Okay. That one splits again. So there's now one at initiative 2. So there's now 1 and 2. So there's 3 of them now. But they all still have like this one interconnected base. It's just like the top weight as it thins. They're like... It's more wavy wobbly tube arm men now than one giant mega tentacle. Is that your turn, Valymr?
Yes.
Breton, over to you.
We haven't learned our lesson. Let's just keep doing stupid stuff like splitting all the tentacles. Yeah, I think Breton is just going to keep on focusing on splitting them. Since it doesn't seem like targeting the thing directly is going to do anything. So we'll just swing out. Why not? Itch. So that was 10, 17, and 17. So 44 points of damage.
Nice. Absolutely nice. Is that your turn?
Yep.
Ruby, to you. Sunbeam? Oh, wait, no. It's tentacle. It's another tentacle. Sorry. Dexterity save.
I also need to make a con save to see if I have concentration on it still. I do.
Dex save from everyone because it's order 6, initiative order 16 tentacle. Which
I need a point of luck. I need a point of luck. Fuck
Okay.
that. Point of luck. 17.
Okay, DC is 16 on this one, so That's 5 points of necrotic damage, half if you saved it. However, if you didn't save, which I don't think Breton did, please make me a Constitution saving throw. I rolled a 1, a 2, a 1, a 1, and a 1 then on those d10s. 18. 18. Just about. You feel this like ichor cover you and like almost just like a nausea sets in, which is shocking because as well you are immune to disease, you are immune to poison, yet you still feel this ichor try to take hold in you. But you managed to get it off you. It's just like one of those things of it didn't hurt much, but it like caught you in the corner of your mouth. So it was like it had to try and override your senses, but your Bene Gesserit poison training stepped in. And yeah, okay. Now it's Ruby, sorry.
No, I'm not using Sunbeam, though I am retaining a hole on it because I need to regenerate some bloody health because I'm getting hurt.
Bloody
Ruby...
health. Bloody health.
Bloody health! One hand's going to erupt in a fireball, the other hand's going to erupt in a fireball, and she's going to scream out and just try to get all three of them at the same time with with 2 fireballs. So she's going to cast and quick cast.
Sure, you can do that.
It's the last time I can do a sorcery point thing, but... So, dexterity saving throws from the both of them, DC 20s.
They also fail.
Oh, well, okay then.
They can't move right now. Because it's like,
And
whilst there's tentacles,
Sure.
they are still attached to one base.
I'm going to cast these at 5th level,
Okay.
which would be 10d6, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to roll 20d6 with the damage because I don't have the macro set up for that. So stand by.
Different.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
With it not being on the map, I don't think it matters though. It's like, I think it's all manual from Midge anyway.
Any ones become 2s with these.
That's a lot of ones to become 2.
1,
That's
2,
20 oh, that's
3,
20
4,
That's 20
5.
d6.
There's
I'm
5
sorry.
ones, so just add 5 to that.
So 66.
66 points of fire damage.
You
Does
see
Ruby-
them. You see the big one that remains split again. So now there are 4 little ones. But the structure of them is all crumbling. Some of them like halfway up the tentacle, there's just like only sinew or blood like sinew holding them together. They are thinning out. This is like they're in there. You think they won't divide any more than this.
20 HP.
But
back
I
to
do
me.
need to roll another one.
Not 369. No.
Okay, so 3 are about to
Really?
go because that was turn order 7. So
Yeah, she's...
I need. Okay, let's do one I'll do these in order. So a dexterity saving throw, please. The DC is now 14.
I'm gonna use my last point of luck. Fuck this. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. So instead it is going to be... Yeah, 16.
Okay. It is 21 points of necrotic damage, halved if you made it.
10.
I need another dexterity saving throw, as another one of these is going to come out you.
Natural 20.
15.
10. Breton, you're going to be taking full damage. That's 29 points of necrotic damage. And
So
Breton, I need a
14.
Constitution save from you. And 14 for
Nat
those who
20
save.
evaded
Yeah,
all.
the DC went down again.
Oh yeah,
then.
Nat 20 still evades it all. So yeah, Nat 20 makes evades all.
So you said how much?
Again.
It's 5. How much damage? Sorry.
So 29 halved if you succeeded.
Okay. So 14. Some 63 wounds.
And a
You're
22
fine
for
on-
the con save.
You're fine on the con. Again, you still feel that sickness that you're fighting off. It's almost like there's a miasma, like a spore-like element to it. Like maybe like particles of these creatures get inside you. That's what you're trying to like get away from. Cool. And one final dex save because there's one more that swings out at this smaller size. Oh, Breton.
Nat 20.
Breton is just being smacked left and right by these.
He's bigger than us. So it's
Valymr, you
more
avoid all the
visible target.
damage. Ruby, you're taking half of 13. Breton, you're taking 13 necrotic.
6 is the half.
And we're back up to the top of the turn order. Valymr, over to you.
So are we thinking that fire does good shit?
Nothing seems like it's damaging it more. Nothing is looking like it's damaging more. Everything feels equal. These creatures seem just as damaged by everything. Bar, you'd hazard a guess just by logic. Maybe don't do necrotic. But everything else seems fair game. Because even like non-magical attacks is doing okay.
I'm going to try fire anyway. I'm going to use Searing Smite at level 3. So it'll be 3d6 on top of this.
Okay.
So 15 hit.
Yes, it does.
And then it's going to be this much damage and 3d6. So 10 fire damage.
Cool.
And then I'm going to hit him again.
Sure.
I'm going to use... No, no. That's a hit and... damage. 12 damage.
Sure.
Yep, that is the end of my turn.
Breton, over to you.
Hit first, same as the first, I guess. I just take up one tickle swings. 18 damage. $12 damage. And I'll throw one smite on one of these just to get some extra damage in there.
It is looking thin. The blood is finding it harder to coagulate.
24 on the last one. Rolling like shit.
Breton,
This.
how would you like to do this? That's exactly the amount of HP it had left.
I mean, at this point, Breton's been getting knocked around, so I think it's more just stabbing at this.
Sure. You're just, you've got both swords, you're just stabbing forward, it's been hitting you, like, wailing on you, and then suddenly you just feel it give. You feel like the remaining, like, form is unable to hold. Just enough of it is dead, and it all just turns more to, like, liquid blood rather than this coagulated mess, and just, and begins to rain back down the iris hole. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take our midpoint break. So, we'll see you in 10 minutes time, everybody. Hey, come here a minute. Do you need royalty-free music for your TTRPG content, whether that be a YouTube video, stream, TikTok, Instagram post? Don't worry, we've got you covered. My name's Alex, I've been a content creator for almost a decade now, and I've teamed up with my good friend Harry to produce 10 royalty-free songs for you to use in your content completely for free. We've tried to make a whole range of motifs with this album, covering happy music to sad music, to mystery music to combat music. And if this takes off, you know what? We might even make some more. So give the Elendor Chronicles soundtrack Volume 1 a shot. It's free to stream everywhere. And if you want the high quality downloads, you can come over to our Patreon and download them, or you can contact me directly at tabletop@themidgemansworld.co.uk as a creator, and I'll just give it to you for free. That's it, there's no catch. And just to prove it, we've also given you guys a user license agreement to prove that you have the complete perpetual rights to use this content. So enjoy, and good luck on your next adventure. Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to cause problems out on the frontier, whether that be from local pirate raids, neighbouring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions, a solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Trade Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
When is a story more than a story? When a tale is more than words on paper? When is an ad more than the script it's written on? In the darkest and deepest annals of our own history, worlds of wonder and splendor burst through like a blister made of hope. From the brain that's wrestled and riddled with madness, a radiant pustule. Writing, art, that's storytelling. That is the true lust of life. You too can dutifully indulge in art. Like fans of the greats. Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. Get an extended access to a wealth of knowledge with a simple click, an emotion so small that it could endlessly amount to possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art. Support the component cast.
So, covered in gore, you all return. We return to the broadcast. It seems like whatever binding was holding the supreme tentacle of ooze together has dissipated. And a lot of it seems to have turned back to essentially normal blood. Especially with like a lot of the source and the reinforcement, shall we say, from the portal being already cut off. So now you are left in this dripping, blood-stained water pumping station. I think you're muted, Beth.
Yeah, Ruby just kind of slumps against the wall. She's gasping for air. She is pretty beaten up and tapped on just about every resource she's got.
Yeah, if we like say that spell slots are like an abstraction of just like effort, Valymr is pretty tapped as well.
You have 2.
I'm also a paladin.
Paladin. Okay, so you have
All right, what I will say is the warlock part of me feels super fresh because I haven't used a pact magic spell slot in a very long time. But the paladin part of me is like, I don't know if I can be good anymore.
Ruby's got all of her first, second, thirds, and fourths, but she's out of 5, 6, and 7s.
I have a single first and then 2 pact magic thirds.
So, what would you guys like to do? You have the metal. You've dealt with a direct threat.
Let's get out of here.
So, the access tunnel we came down, and there's a sluice gate that allows the water to flow down into the city proper.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other ways out of this room? Or is it the access tunnel into the room and you call it the iris that let the water flow out?
Down the pit, yeah. There is a ladder down there, like there's like a metal bar ladder on the side of like the stone wall below the iris, probably to get deeper into the sewer system. Not sewer system, the water distribution system.
As much as I think get out of here sounds real nice, that thing didn't set this box up with the chains and all of that. This was put here as like maybe like a guardian for the box.
Right.
We still need to find the people who put it there.
I think this, Valymr, is where all the water flows into before it's circulated, filtered, and pumped throughout the rest of the city. I don't think whoever did it is here. I think this was guarding it. You are right. I don't think they're here at all. I think we may need to find out whoever was distributing this blood silver, however, might be a part of it. We still need to follow up on that, and I am literally out of magic.
There was a point I was trying to make. There's 2 ways into this room. Up that, and Zedaar will point down the iris, and I don't see anybody carrying this, which will point towards the box, up that ladder. Which means it had to go through the water workstation. Which means it got past the royal guards. Somebody managed to sneak this past the royal guards.
Teleportation could theoretically do it.
Which would require, at the very least, an intimate knowledge of where you were going.
Yes.
And then the amount of time to set it up with the chains, like that's effort. It's a lot of effort.
We should at the very least report that there's very likely some individuals who are involved in the inner workings who were involved in this. They need to check their employees.
I agree.
For now, we can just get this out of here.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of here.
Where do you want to try and head? Back up to
Out.
Silverrill? So you're going to head back up to Silverrill. Are you engaging with any of the individuals in the water? Or are you for now saying matter dealt with,
We
moving.
probably look like we walked out of the first Dragon Age, just covered in viscera and gore and outright of doom. So if anybody stops us is a bigger question. But if we approach the guards and walk past them, got it.
It should be safe to go down there, monitor the situation. The blood's not moving now. If it starts, get the fuck out.
The guys look at each other.
Did anyone try and come down here within the past week?
Who are you asking?
Any of the guards?
Guards. So okay. We tend to. We're not stationed inside the waterworks itself, only around it. Only people who have been coming in are shift workers.
Screen them, interrogate them. Potentially an infiltrator. We need to take this to the Saint.
Say that. You mount up onto Silveril.
Silver groans at this weight.
Yep.
So Ruby will, if they fly slowly, Ruby will fly behind.
It's going to be a slightly slower fly anyway. Something you notice is the bright white light is slowly bursting out over the entire city. It's coming from point to. I can't remember what the mountain's called. Sorry. Anyway, from
with a G.
No, it's the top of the mountain where the like the Saint's shrine and the main Chevalier place is. It's point to something, and I can't remember what the last word was. I'm sorry, I'm blanking right now. But anyway, it's like a pure silver light is like bursting out, and by the time are you flying straight towards that? Like,
Breton. I think Blake said.
I guess we didn't really sit down and talk about it.
We
somewhere where talk to the Saint then.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna try and fly towards the Saint. Okay. Yeah. You start flying there. As you move towards the light, it covers you. Like, you feel all the viscera and stuff that's on you just burns away in this radiance. Where did you attach the box?
It's attached to Brent's back. Excuse me.
No, I imagine it's being carried by Solvarel.
Okay, would it be on the side or?
I imagine it's in his giant griffiny claws.
Okay, I'm gonna need Silveril to make an athletics check to probably try to hold on to this as it's hit by this radiance.
Okay. I need to double check that's then. Gonna be just +4. I'm gonna use the sessional inspiration to reroll that.
Okay.
Because I don't want to end up dropping this into some poor person's house. 15.
Manages to hold on to it, but you all hear like Silveril. You have communicated to Silveril. It's just like Silveril kind of winces in pain as you see the box is just immolated in like silver flame. And then as it covers the threshold, all like the metal grimaces, like these dark bronze, these faces, these like demonic faces, are like melted away, and they're now just like man faces.
Has the Infernal script changed as well, or is that still
off? From what you can see from up here, it's hard to say, but it's like it looks like a different object because you're all riding on Silver right now. But anyway, you fly and you land near the top of the mountain, or the top of the hilltop, and it burns away, and you've got the silvered box. Yeah, and it now looks to have the faces of men instead of the faces of demons.
Is it still blood silver?
It was never blood silver.
Oh.
But yeah, it seems like the corruption on this has been cleansed. And as you sort of land, you see the light from the bright white light from the top fade.
Does it still weigh 3,000 pounds or something like that?
It's still as heavy, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, that makes this harder. Hopefully the sequence I transcribed is good enough.
We can hardly hear you.
I'm sorry, I'm turned around. Meeting. Hopefully the sequence I described is good enough. We should report to the Saints what happened.
Okay. How do you go about trying to get an audience?
Ask politely. Also, we know what happened. We killed the source of it.
As we're flying towards the city, can we see how does the... Well, I can't see shit. I'm going to ask. How does it look? Is the river clearing up? Is it clearing up in the sea? Like, what's it looking like right now?
Does anyone check?
You ask, I will.
Okay,
I have asked.
Make a perception
Breton would
check.
have already been doing that, yeah.
You notice, I will say it's not hard on a perception. You notice that the purging light is like beating back the blood entity. It's not getting rid of the blood. Like once it's, you get the impression it's killing the creatures within the blood. So it's just turning to blood. The streets are still stained and they're gonna need cleaning, but there's no longer people aren't being like killed by it. You also notice that I would say with those rolls you don't really notice, but you notice that quite a few graves have been dug up or disturbed in certain graveyards and such. That has been dealt with. Well, for the most part. But there is huge amounts of people around. It's like there are more people than there normally are on this mountain. There's like people essentially seeking refuge, people just sitting down, resting, people just like looking out towards the city to watch all the carnage that's been happening. So it's quite a crowd, and the doors to the main chapel here, the main cathedral, are closed and guarded. And it's as you land that the silver light that's been glowing from it, it's almost like being so close, it's like the Harkonnen planet in Dune. Like you are whited out by it. It's so bright. It's like a silver moon kind of light. And then, but it fades. And then bells start chiming from chapel. Breton, I'm not going to make you do a religion check. But normally those bells only chime to signify the passing of someone of great importance to the Chevalier.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I thought he couldn't die.
I think the answer is obvious. Somebody overexerted himself trying to save the city.
We need to get in there.
You rush to the shut doors. How do you proceed?
Make a hole, please. If anybody is like guarding it.
No. They are locked from like the inside. There's people like sort of. No one's really near the chapel because it was like so bright people couldn't stand being near it. But people are hearing you hear murmur through all the people talking now that the bells have started ringing.
Well, presumably if it is locked from the inside, there's got to be someone inside doing it. And if our suspicions are correct, then someone has to be inside because they have to be aware of what is going on. So Breton is just going to give several loud pounds on the front door.
Start pounding on the door. And you hear the door be unbolted. And it's like one of those smaller doors in a big door that opens. And the individual, it's like, they look to be, Breton, you'd also know this without a religion check. This is a paladin of the Chevalier Argent by clear. And this is a pretty potently strong paladin. He's like full shining silver plate, all the heraldry kind of thing. And he's got like a auburn hair tied into a thick ponytail. And he looks up and he looks at you and he's like, it's an instantaneous thing of, this is not who I thought I was opening the door to. And he is, what do you want?
What's the condition on the saint? We have the source of what was causing this attack in the city.
Waves you in. And you come in. It's quiet. There are multiple knights and monastic figures kind of piously knelt around what looks to be a raised stone sarcophageal altar, and on top of it is a knight-like figure. That same leper's mask. And that the visage that you've I've described before of the living saint, just laid beaming light, haloing the body.
Brendan's going to turn to the other two and just... This is what they were after, wasn't it? It wasn't about killing the city, about killing him.
I could save him.
What are you attempting?
Well, I need 2 hours, a diamond worth 500 gold, and a nap. Okay, so...
What are you attempting?
First thing she needs to do is short rest. That way she can
I'm asking as a GM, what are you attempting to do?
I'm getting to that.
Spell-wise, because I'm...
Raise dead.
Ooh. Okay.
I need to reclaim some sorcery points, so I need a short rest first. I need a diamond worth of gold.
Mm-hmm. I need to pull out document.
If it's a natural death, it doesn't work. But if he died from wounds or... I don't know if this qualifies. The expenditure of your life force. Exhaustion?
Where do I keep that D&D book? Anyway, talk amongst yourselves. Whilst I sort this, friends, because this person is beyond living, and it uses a very, very, very lovely supplement by an individual called, I can't remember the name. I will grab that in a moment. But it's the supplement is called is After Death for 5e.
If it's a dead creature, Raise Dead theoretically works, so long as it's been dead for more than 10 days.
It's more to see what the sub rules say about when this type of undead dies.
Valymr, can we... I need a diamond worth at least 500 gold. I can't hear you. You're muted.
I will go have a look, see if I can find some in the store in the city. I don't have anything.
It may take you time. I need to catch my breath. I'm out of...
It's called Playing Dead is the name of the supplement. Great.
She's just going to sit and begin her short rest as she catches her breath.
Is it an diamond or is it diamonds?
A diamond worth at least 500 gold. Up to the DM if that could be a collaboration of diamonds worth up to.
Because Revivify says diamonds.
Yeah, I think it's a
Revivify.
diamond.
That's a minute. That's up to like a minute of death.
Raised
Yeah,
needs a diamond.
Yeah.
Killer.
Fine.
And she'll hand him like all the gold she has, which is not a lot, but I think it covers. Yeah, I've got 480 platinum. So she'll just hand him 50 platinum.
Okie dokie. Okay, I will
Greater Undeath page.
head off into the middle of Giravilu and start. I'll give some like random commoner like a gold piece to bring me to. No, I'll give him like a silver piece to bring me to a jewelry store.
Sure.
If that's possible.
If there's nobody there, break in, take the diamond, and walk out and leave the gold. Say sorry, it was an emergency.
Yeah, so I will go and try and find myself an diamond.
I'm sorry, Breton. I wasn't fast enough.
As I know, Raised Dead does not return an undead creature to life.
No, you need true resurrection for that. Or wish. I don't know if he was undead. I don't think he was.
Well, it returns an undead creature to being a living creature. It's a weird point of it. Like, they would not be returned as an undead, they would be returned to whatever they were in life.
I always kind of assumed he was a biologically immortal creature.
This spell doesn't, however, remove magical disease, cure similar effects, and if these aren't removed first prior to the casting of the spell to take effect when the creature returns to life. This spell can't return an undead creature to life.
Is he undead?
Yes. So a martyr is an undead. It's a greater undead.
I'm sorry. I thought he was just some sort of martyr, like a biologically immortal wound sufferer. I didn't realize he was undead.
Yes and no. Yes, he was a biological wound sufferer, and that was his like torment. But he was by all means undead. His life force was being preserved by a magical vestige of martyrdom. He was himself essentially a dead vessel.
I'm so confused. If you tell me no, he can't live because the narrative demands he die, I'll agree with you.
The narrative does demand it, but I'm saying the spell will not work because he was undead. He counts as a greater undead. And I would say you're talking very openly in front of a lot of well-trained religious individuals, clerics of high esteem and paladins of high esteem. And in fact, the one that opened the door to you just says, it would be no use. But it is beautiful that you even attempt. It was their time. And another will take up the mantle. One that is not as afflicted. They served us for many years. They served us once more, even in death.
What killed them?
They sacrificed themselves to return the city to its true hallowed state. The living saint gave up what little immortality that they suffered to cleanse it and protect us all once more. But you said,
The seal. What about his seal?
the knight furrows his eyebrows.
Didn't he have a piece of one of the seals?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
She looks to Breton. The Sword of Equilibrium. Didn't he have it? No, that was the Chevaliant. The actual.
That's the Chevaliant itself, not the living
Okay,
saint.
yeah, I'm sorry then. Yeah, sorry, that's Beth getting her the Chevaliant versus the Saint Martyr and... Sorry, guys, I'm not very religious.
Chevalier Argent has a,
Damn it. Okay.
you may, you said you found a source of the corruption. Please.
I imagine at this point, Breton is just sitting on it.
An end
Fair
table.
enough. Yeah.
So rather than just go into a bench or a pew, he just set it down and is sitting on it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It was it was cleansed when the light touched it. But
It
I
was
was
set in
able
the
to get
waterworks. It was intaking water and
Who are
spewing
we
out the
talking
blood
to?
into the sewage system.
Hmm.
I'm
Before
sorry.
it was corrupted, it was channeling the abyssal plane.
I'll do a minor image to show it with the demon faces and the runes and glyphs and shit.
Make a quick intelligence check.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just for accuracy. Detail.
Just a bog standard intelligence.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, it's decent enough. Looks at it. Thank you. You have honored the Chevalier today. You said it has been cleansed. He's looking at it. Did I go ahead and make a check? I recognize this. One of these.
What is it?
They are. The way they explained them to me, they are lodestones. They are used as keys to. You can use them for plenty of travel. You can use them to lock on to shift planes, transit planes.
That's what I thought they could be. Yeah.
This he's looking at it now. This one, however, is one that we have a number of these for the grand tournaments. We use them to send offerings to the great beyond, to our forefathers, to the saints. To this is, and he's looking at it. It's like, this is something of ours.
Oh,
We think that somebody infiltrated the waterworks and got into it. Probably one of the workers or one of the knights.
There's like a look of disgust and sadness that like cover this man's face. Corruption even made it to our most sacred relics. He turns and looks at the now dead undead body of the not so living saint anymore, and just it corrupted us to our very heart.
We're not done yet. There's still a fight to be had, and we have a lead on what might be causing this problem.
What do you think is going on?
I think there's a cult of Null operating inside the city. They are the ones who have been spreading this plague through specialized coins of blood silver. That's what corrupted the monastery near Cormont?
Yep. Yeah.
Cormont. We tracked that down and destroyed that. We tracked them here, and we currently have... What the... Valymr, can you mute yourself, please? You're
Are
squeaking.
you hearing the birds outside?
Yeah.
Well, that was from you.
Gurthaloo is on the coast. I don't know what you expect. Seagulls, coastline. I don't know. It's
just
yeah.
a seagull just hits the stained glass window.
Okay,
Sorry, I think they're probably on my front lawn.
We think that whoever is causing this problem is going to do a drop of more of these coins in the not-too-distant future if they're still active after this. We have their contact in custody at one of the chapter houses of the... I can't call them Grey Knights. It's not really what they are.
Oh, what are they?
The undead slaying group of your knights. There's like a specialized thing. There's like only a handful of them, and they're not here right now. Sorry.
The Order of the Black Rose or something like that. What was it? Where we left that, like,
I know where it is.
This man is just like, he's like trying to follow the half information. Like,
look, I have been awake for 36 hours, and I'm exhausted. I know where it is. We've got him. We've got the information. Trust me, please. Just work with me here.
He's just nodding. He's like, okay.
Tomorrow, or today, what time is it even? It's evening.
Sun has interesting. It was a particularly long sunset tonight with everything that was going on. But it's now dark.
It's the group that tries to redeem the undead.
Gotta make a religion check. He now goes, ah. he nods slowly. He's like, I understand who you mean.
Okay. He's currently held in custody there because he is going to be contacted tomorrow by whoever is doing this, and they said there's going to be a drop at the docks. That is what we are trying to get to.
Do we know that it's going to be the docks?
Yes. Well, that's where it normally is. I don't know if it's still going to happen after what happened tonight, but it's still our best lead.
Why did they start the attack when one of their agents was so close to the source of one of these attacks?
They might have known he was compromised.
Or they do not care about their own as much as they pretend to.
The impression I get from this gentleman is he is being used as a proxy.
Sounds like evil.
Indeed.
I wouldn't put it past it.
If that doesn't work, I was able to transcribe, I think closely, the sequence of sigils used for the planar transport that this cube was using when it was corrupted. If my magic works, hopefully, correctly, I might be able to trace it back to where it comes from, and we can go after the source. Somewhere in the abyss. Yay. I always thought my first trip out of Elendor would be somewhere nice.
He looks...
It was. You went to frickin' heaven or something. When you died.
Yeah. No, that wasn't really nice.
Yeah, it was probably nicer than where I went when I fucking died. There was water there.
Do you know who resurrected me the first time? She's the goddess of the bloody water.
No wonder I don't worship her.
Anyway.
He just takes out a small piece of parchment and begins to write. I am due to go to the High King to tell him of the saint's passing. My name is Sir Garrett Ruvio. He hands you guys... sorry, Ruivo. Not Ruvio.
Ruivo.
R-U-I-V-O.
Damn it.
First name Garrett. And he hands you a parchment, and he basically goes to a candle, stabs his signet ring in it, and seals this really quickly. Hands it to you. Goes. This is a letter addressed to the Magister of the High Court. It's the most knowledgeable mage in the city. If they're alive, if they weren't affected by this, doubt they would be. The castle would have been the first place closed off. They might be able to answer more of the information of the inner workings of these. They are the person that makes them, normally. I will check in with the order that you left this traitor with. I'll see what I can get out there as well. An insight check, just all of you, as this guy is talking.
Ruby trusts him implicitly with a natural 1. She's too exhausted to care at this point.
You will trust this man implicitly. There's a sense of determination in this man. It's like one of those things of he's sad, he's angry, but he's determined. He's kind of already put in a lot of feelings down, and he's kind of like, okay. It's like one of those things of cool head in a situation that's gone really fucked, and he's just kind of going, and he basically looks at you all and goes, get some rest. I doubt we will not be needing more swords come the morning, and yours seem to be sharp.
Ruby just goes over to Brett and falls onto him, very Freeran style. Just.
He also, with it, says, hands you a key. This is to my private manor in the grounds here, if you do not want to go far. Make yourself a hole. And then he just doesn't push past you, but walks past you, Amanda to and there's still this sight. And then some other sort of scribes and stuff go in and kind of unlock the door, and it's like the mass peasantry kind of now. As he opens the door, you see Garrett standing in the doorway, and he just, to those assembled, it says, this living saint, he who was once martyred once before, is martyred again, and with his last essence, has saved the city. And just continues down, and then you just see people sort of, it's like one of those slow crowds that then becomes just, weeping mourners. They begin to just like funnel in.
Also, these guys behind me also did some stuff. No, wait, okay. Breton, I'm tired. Hold me. It just kind of crawls on him like a caterpillar and just clings onto his back. Nah.
I'm also going to say, just in case it wasn't sure, like, I'm sure you know, but you didn't go off to go buy a diamond. I
imagined.
Just wanted to, so yeah, I take it you guys, are you going to go to this guy's place to rest, or are you going to go back down to the tavern in the city?
Gonna go in Holy Man's house. Yeah.
Why not? Or is it not to?
It's like part of the grounds here. It's like probably a nice two-story stone-built building. As you go in, there's a small shrine at in front of the door, like 10 foot from the doorway, and then like a door each side. Seems that this individual lives here alone, but there's like a living room, a nice kitchen, multiple bedrooms. Like it's like a 5-bed semi-detached house, essentially. Nice little front garden. It's kept very orderly. But you can take a long rest.
Yay.
After a very long day.
Yeah.
I will say that Garrett does not return to the house at all overnight. Seems he has other business to attend to.
Sure.
Does he have like servants and stuff in there that can make food and all that? No. Okay.
It seems he lives alone.
He does.
You get the impression that this place would normally have a servant or two, maybe up to 3, but this individual doesn't keep them.
I just realized that Ruby hasn't restocked her bag of colding since the Skyfire went down.
Dare steal from the Holy Man.
So unless Midge hand waves, I've got some food left in there. I'm probably running low on supplies, if anything.
You've probably got like spices and stuff, but yeah, maybe a block of cheese, maybe like. But I don't think you've got any rations or anything left, like or anything.
Cheese with bread.
You can look around this guy's larder and you can find fresh food. Like
I have no problem with cheese on toast.
You're not good with cheese on toast?
Beans on
I'm
toast.
fine with. I'm not.
Oh.
I don't mind
Cheese on toast.
nice.
It's nicely. It's very nicely spread. For Ruby's purposes, it's still a chef meal. So
It is.
That's what you call grilled cheese.
It is like a fresh sourdough, covered in like Gourd cheese and mixed with cheddar.
Take your 5 temporary
My
HP.
man's just ruined it. Cheese. I'm from the North, man. Cheese on toast is cheese on toast, not sourdough and bloody, it's Gouda.
All right.
It's
for you. It's a slice of Warburtons and some Tesco own brand like easy as you go cheese that kind of only just melted. And you know what? There's put some gravy granules on it for fucking.
Ew.
I don't need the gravy granules.
Oh, you're not that north. You're not.
I don't need you need to turn the gravy granules into gravy first.
No, have you not had gravy granules on toast? Because it kind of melts in the butter and turns into like thick gravy. Oh, that's good. I picked that up from some proper northerners. So yeah, okay.
Hey then.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but you all get a night's rest, and it's you probably sleep the whole night. I would say. You could be out like normal morning hour, but like it was a long day.
I mean, I only need 4 hours, but I think I'll take a few more. Actually, no, I will only take the 4 hours, and then I'm going to see if this guy has a library.
Sure. He doesn't have a library, but he clearly has in the living room. There's bookshelves.
Yeah, I'm going to see if there's anything interesting. And
there's a lot of like heraldry of so it's a lot of history books. There's a lot of history books. A couple of religious texts. Also some non-fiction. Some fiction books.
Anything about the saint that just got martyred again?
Yeah, there is.
I'll read about the saint.
Sure. You looking for anything specific or just general?
No, just in general. Pick up the first book and start reading.
Sure. You find out about their initial martyrdom. They died wielding. Essentially, the living saint is known to carry not the hero sword, but they carry like the sword of William of Fionia, like the founding father of the Fionian people, essentially, and the Saint carries their sword, and it's very so it's kind of a bit tense because they also think that the High King should have that sword. So instead, essentially, whoever the Archknight of the Faith, like the top Archknight of the Faith is kind of like bound to be the sword bearer for the High King, kind of thing. And it's a bit of a weird one, but because the Living Saint kind of also. Anyway, there's a lot about the first martyrdom of this individual, and it talks of a time that essentially they. It was a battle during the one of the Holy Wars that happened. The army was marching without water, without food for years and years, and they got caught up. They were caught by cavalry, and essentially, the Living Saint protected a caravan protected a caravan of wounded and sick soldiers and gave them a chance to escape, and essentially were pierced. They were pierced, I think it was 37 times by spears in the process, and then set on fire and immolated. They also, their wounds then got infected and diseased, and they essentially died, but were made a martyr of the faith and became held in a place between death and true faith, purest faith, and managed to stave off the effects of life and death for many, many years, and served as a true knight of the faith. They weren't instantaneously made the arch knight of the whole faith. They actually lived as a saint for a long time beforehand. But it was kind of one of those things of no one was sanctified alive in a long time, if ever. So naturally, when the position of Archknight of the Faith came up, it was kind of a shooing who would get it. That's kind of the things you pick up. That's an abridged.
So now they're going to have a whole succession crisis because nobody else is very much like, oh yeah, definitely that guy, because he's clearly. And maybe the next one is not going to be quite so clear cut.
Maybe not, but I don't know. What better time to try and find a new saint than the possible apocalypse? So, anyway.
Let's go to the King's Court and find this High Magister. Or do we want to go to the undead people and
Is that thing today or tomorrow that he's supposed to get a message?
tonight?
Some point today.
I mean, the
well,
paladins the paladins got that handled. We need to imagine we can go do this, talk to this guy, and then we go there.
Yeah, I think that's best.
So we'll trek up to the castle.
Okay.
Lady Anrayne Sunderstar of Givriamoville.
Sure. You travel, and you see, the city is broken. There's a lot of people washing the streets and trying to get the blood out. And it's not easily shifting. There's a lot of people being buried. And there's also a lot of pillars of white flame in braziers as you see people collecting rosaries and disposing of them as the information was correctly disseminated by you. There's also armed patrols. Heavy armed patrols like going around the city. It is like there are knights, clerics, all sorts of members of the faith. Everyone is like doing their part. And
Do we still have the lodestone?
You can take yes.
Okay. And we'll go.
But eventually you make it to Castle Hill. The gates are still shuttered, and there is some royal guards outside, but you explain who you are, who has sent you, and you are let in. And you are pointed to one of the towers of the castle, the High King's Castle. And
Breton getting his workout in today.
Yeah. Eventually, you get to a large set of like blue wooden doors, etched with arcane runes. And you
knock
the door, and you hear, "Come in."
Ruby will open the door.
And you see a kind of a long laboratory-esque chamber. You see, and in the end you see a deep green robed individual, wizardish robes down to the knee, no hat but like slightly little spectacles, and then like a leather jerkin over the top. They seem to be standing over what seems to be a crystal ball. Looking into it.
Morning.
Good morning. Who might you be?
Lady Anrayne Sunderstar of Givriamoville of the Skyfire Adventuring Company, with Breton Montpellier and Valymr Kensek.
Skyfire Adventuring Company. Skyfire Adventuring. Oh. You were those at the summit.
Yes.
Well, adventurers, what brings you to my hallowed halls?
She points to the big lodestone currently on Breton's back. We found this and the water ducks. That was the spawn of all of your corruption yesterday.
He was clearly like holding conversation with you whilst doing some sort of clairvoyancy, and he kind of breaks away from the spell and he's like, "Oh,
Hi, nice to have your attention.
I'm Magister Uzador, High Magister Uzador of the Kingdom of the Narderfell. Please, he just, Sir Knight, would you mind putting this on the workbench over here? Let us take a look at this." Clunk. Just clunk. And it is that. And just give me a perception check around.
Again, I don't perceive.
Breton does, though. Breton, you see, like, moldings and shapes that... And Valymr, you see this as well. You feel the outlines. Sorry, Valymr. You taste this. I don't know how to describe your sight anymore.
I imagine it is like Daredevil vision.
Yeah. You get
It's probably more glowy than fiery.
Echolocation-ishness.
Yeah. You feel the vibrations of this similar, but you find like molds and like plates of what looks like would build one of these boxes. Like you see some of them like hung up in corners and stuff, and he looks at this and goes, he like pulls in like one of those, like a magnifying glass on like on a metal spring, and he like starts looking it over and looking at the descriptions. He swears in. Actually, I don't know if you guys know the language.
What language?
Do any of you speak Azdakian?
No.
He starts swearing. You can sense it swearing. It's one of those things of, no matter the language, you can tell when someone is swearing sometimes.
I apologize. I had to hit it with a very high-powered spell yesterday.
He just says, "I'm so glad you did." And he just starts rubbing his face. He's got like a very thin sort of stubble. And then he completely shaves head, tan skin.
The living saint cleansed the corruption of whatever was on it. Valymr has a representation of it with his minor illusion. You can see what it actually looked like. I was able to transcribe, I think, the runes that I saw before it was cleansed.
Please show me what you have.
They were done quickly. I cannot. In fact, I would not describe them to perfect accuracy. I was in a hurry.
Every little helps.
With my minor illusion, there'll be the glyphs on there as well, as much as Valymr can remember.
Yeah, he's gonna make a. You didn't. The glyphs were already gone when you made.
Well, I don't make a thing. It's basically I'm making an image representation of what I can remember.
Yeah.
However much I remember the glyphs.
Yeah.
But I don't have keen mind, so take that whatever you will.
Yeah, I'm going off of that 10 that you rolled before. On that intelligence from before, Valymr.
Did he not roll well?
Did not roll well. That was a 3 and a natural 1 with advantage there.
I will give him inspiration by being awesome next to him. No. Anyway.
He looks at it, he goes, you're right. He basically goes, this will take some study and some reference looking on what this is. And he points to the box. This is one of mine. I made this. He points out like his maker's mark, and he's like, and you're saying something or someone corrupted this. And he looks at the thing, and it's just like, this is nothing like my design, but I will explain. How familiar are you with Lodestone and portal magic?
Not my field of expertise.
We've been through a portal once. We've seen them, but...
You've seen teleportation circles, yes?
Yes.
If a teleportation circle is a doorway, this is a chest. a window, smaller. It works for smaller transaction in terms of what you can put through just by nature of the size. However, it can be used much like tuning forks for planar travel. If you are familiar at all with planar, it looks. I'm just trying to gauge where we are.
I am the magic user of the group. I understand the concepts.
I sense magic on all of you. It's one of the, but yes, it's planar. Think of them as bindings, planarly. It's like I could dial into this remotely. We use these normally to connect to a point in the plane. However, they are... it is like... I'm trying to think of a hypothetical, but it can be corrupted or changed, or the address can be changed. Much as any teleportation circle can change by changing a few glyphs, you could essentially take one of these somewhere else. This is now completely inert and does not go anywhere. I will... I can check where it was... he's going to start... As long as it wasn't damaged, I can...
I did hit it with a incinerate.
I can see that. It looks... I've got partial numbers. I can check my logs to see who this... or which model... I keep a record of them that I create. I can see who this went to, if I can work out which one this is, or at least narrow it down.
Perfect.
I can tell you where it was going. Well, probably anyway. Is there any plane of the abyss that is filled to the brim with blood? Corrupted, acidic blood.
With little bugs in it.
Well, starfish things anyway.
Starfish things?
Invisible.
Never heard of. Blood.
Invisible bloodworms.
Blood, yes. It is part of one of the abyssal planes. There's an ocean known as the Drowning Pools. It is said to have collected much of the blood from various elements of the Blood War and also the War for the Heavens here. It was like a drain which abyssal armies used to empower their forces. They took the blood of those that they killed and corrupted and drained it into a storage, a vat, if you like. Putrid place.
Does anything live there, or how make it its home, or is it just a big ocean of blood?
I have never been. I would say I would assess demons of some sort. It's the abyss. I would hazard a guess that probably if you say there's creatures in the blood, there's probably creatures that live in the blood. How much are you explaining to him about like the null worship or anything, or are you just surface?
I haven't said anything of it yet.
Yeah, are you? No, I'm saying, are you planning at all?
Yeah, she'll eventually go. So what we think was happening is a cultist of Null was corrupting this thing. Somebody pretty proficient with magic, clearly.
Can I do an insight check on his reaction to Null being mentioned?
Sure.
20. Dirty.
Okay. Valymr, I'm going to DM you something.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's go.
And he goes, I don't know why null worshippers would connect something to the abyss. However, they are followers of greater death, and they believe in undeath and corrupting the world as such. It might have just been a medium for it. I guess it's unheard of to me, though.
One of their core tenets is the corruption of holy sites. Is there no place in Ardathel more holy than this city?
Ardathel, no. Well, that we know where it is, but no, yeah.
We know where what is.
The only place that would be holy would be if we found the tomb of the Chevalier Argent, but no one knows what that is.
Well, how do they know he's missing that?
Sorry, what?
People say they've seen him walking around.
I think him being up and around and guarding the thing is his secret.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh. Whoops.
He kind of.
So we must have been confused with a different guy.
Make a deception check. Disadvantage. With how you said that.
Oh no, I'm not very good at deceptionishness. That would be 12.
Sounds like peasant talk.
I'm sure it is.
Sure, yeah. You know, it's a time of trouble. People be seeing spooky stuff and thinking that it's things.
Guidance of the faith is what people turn to in trying times, and what we have not had a more trying time in years.
In trying times, I'm sure there's no reason for heroes of the past to be running around doing things. Sorry, it's been an exhausting 6 months. You have no idea the shit I've been through. We've been through.
I have some idea. Your reputation does precede you.
I hope only the good stuff. Twice I've heard that in as many days, by the way.
Okay.
Means we don't have to spend too much time introducing ourselves. That's quite
very
nice.
true. Look for the red-haired woman and the purple man and the large man. Ah, there they go. Where they go, shit seems to happen.
He goes. He's gone over to some books at this point, by the way, and he says, Interesting. There are. So, from the partial numbers I have, there are 3 possible lodestones that this could be. 2 of which are dedicated to the castle itself, as in they were royal property.
Mm-hmm.
The last of which was supposedly destroyed, but belonged to an order from Haveray.
They don't happen to be a group dedicated to the purification of undead, are they?
No, they are quite the opposite. They are extreme zealots.
Are they in the Wystongjir theocracy right now?
I would assume most of the orders have halls there.
Blood Knight, Blood Eagle, what were they called, Breton? Blood Order of Sanguine something?
Can look.
Beth
Lambert,
honestly
shit
does not
memory.
remember.
Valymr, average memory.
It's not the people from yesterday. It's not the people from yesterday.
No, it's
No,
the
she's
red
talking about the
scarlet guys in the
knights that
Vistilian.
were going to start a pyre in the Vistilian theocracy.
Oh, those guys? Yeah,
Yeah.
Valymr doesn't remember that either.
Was it the Sanguine Chalice?
That sounds
Those
right.
ones? I think
We almost
that's
had a
the one.
fight with those guys.
I think that's what I
It
called
doesn't
them.
have the Order of the Sanguine Chalice, is it?
Yes.
Fuck a duck.
Should have fought them when we had the chance.
No.
Trying to find the actual name of them now. That's going to annoy me because I had this earlier.
We need is Mordred. He's got really good notes.
Honestly, go into Mordred's private channel
That's
thing
where
in
I
this
am.
Discord, and then
I still have his notes. I use them all the fucking time. He keeps better notes than I do on my campaign. He's excellent, man. I miss you so much.
real.
Order of the Purifying Flame. No, that was it. That was the Order of the Purifying Flame.
Sounds right.
Yep, that's the ones. Order of the Purifying Flame. There we go.
Yeah, we've run into them before. They're assholes. Why would you sell anything to them?
I don't sell these. They're part of the rites. We use them to give offerings to our ancestors in the great beyond.
So one of these corrupted could very much lead to
Anywhere. Technically we could make one to any plane if we had the means. You know about the cosmology and the fact that we can send things out. And we can make connections, just those beyond can't. For example, if I was to conjure an imp, I could conjure an imp, but an imp could not conjure itself into the plane.
yes.
This is why those are... Yeah, so it's their symbol is a red goblet with a white flame in it. He points to it in the book. There's a sec. Either this is one belonging to the castle or them, and I can go check the castle inventory to see if this is one of those two. I have the keys to that room. Breton, you've got a very high perception. I'm going to allow you to make another perception check as this guy has been moving around closer to you, etc. As you're seeing more of him.
Okay. 15.
His collar moves slightly, and you see a little half moon on his neck. Like tattooed. In like almost like a thin white tattoo.
Recognize that.
Half moon.
Don't have any clue if that's significant to us or not.
Isn't Brayla got the moon stuff?
Correct.
Can't remember if that's a full moon or a half moon thing for her though.
Ruby doesn't see it, so I can't comment.
Give me a quick just memory check. So give me intelligence, Bren. Because you would have been there for it.
Symbol for Brayla, a winged heart adorning a patterned crescent moon.
12.
Yeah, I'd say that's enough. Half moon tattoos in like a light skin color were all marks of those of Azdakin descent who were stone keepers. The order of people that guarded the shards, the Heart of Brayla shards. You saw them actually in the Vestinian theocracy. The group of them that you had.
Oh, he's part of the order that we saw.
Kisa and Sefka, the people that were
Yeah.
there, and they were like in the poorer parts of the city that were just like,
Yeah,
we're still here, we're still protecting the thing.
Yeah, Ruby never met them.
Ruby didn't know. Breton definitely would have met them. Yeah, you would have met them in the old temple there.
You're telling me about it. I'm not even drawing I'm drawing a total blank on that.
Yeah. They guard parts of Brayla's seals. Because Brayla's seal is in 3 parts. It's 3 necklaces.
Yeah. I guess. Finnegan coyness is not Breton's specialty. He has all the coyness of an elephant charging through a wall.
Ask Ruby, she'll tell you.
I think Breton would just say, "That's an interesting tattoo you have there." I don't see many people with it.
Right, and he just kind of... No. But I know you've seen some with it.
Yeah. It's just kind of like look around the room again as if he's going to expect to see something here he didn't see before.
He looks, he goes, your reputation preceded you way before all the events that happened at the second summit. My cousins and family back home told me that you were all good people.
Certainly try.
He's oh, that's a natural 20. He didn't get a look up, he says. Whilst I'm familiar with some information about seals, he's looking at you like he's inciting as well. I don't know anything about a certain relic of our past walking the earth again. That is news to me.
Oh, so we failed to deceive him.
Well,
that is news to me, and a worrying sound. Sight.
Oh, you have no idea how incredibly worried I've been for the past 3 months since I transcribed the Book of the Apocalypse and saw the signs.
Part of keeping seals safe was a lot of orders were, or guardians were not told of the others. I feel a little bit shortchanged if they got the ghost of a god and we got ourselves.
Walking on the earth.
It's just like, but I take comfort in the fact that Brayla trusted mortals.
Hi, Brayla's chosen. She brought me back and a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, they're working.
Listen, I'm gonna side with you here. There is not a day that goes by that I don't wonder how the hell I ended up in this scenario.
It's easy, you got saddled with me. And then you said yes.
Well, we live in a world where things happen.
That's a fact.
I am surprised every day I wake up of things I learn, and today is tipping the list for the year. However, yesterday is quite a big one as well. Look, what do you need from me? I will make myself available to you.
Oh, that's hard to say. As you get, whoever was responsible for getting this into the waterworks, securing it away, they had access to both the lodestone and the rights to go wherever the hell they pleased, even amongst royal guards. Got to narrow the list down of who could have accessed this. I don't know if this information is going to be useful to us, but it certainly means that you got to up your security on who the hell is getting access to this stuff.
I will order a mandatory inspection of all the lodestones. I'll take a political hit. Say that I got something wrong with them recently, and I've noticed a fault, and I need to check everybody's. See how many I can find, see if it uncovers anything, see if there's more than just the ones that this could be that are missing, that kind of thing. It's is there any other access, anything I can get you, any help you need there? This is a problem. If they are using if they're using this to do the damage, and if we are without a true arch knight right now, that's a smallish problem.
It also means that the more I look at this attack, the more it seems like it was specifically planned in order to remove the living saint from position, orchestrated in order to do that. And in doing so, the Arch Knight means that there is also less security for what is going on in that status. Not necessarily that, but an important artifact of immeasurable value. I can't see why this would be done, but I also don't understand why priests of Null, cultists of Null, would be associating with demonic influence.
Well, only thing I can think of is it's an odd one. From what little I know of the cosmology, because Null is the only of the gods to have essentially fallen. He is revered, or they are revered as a god by a lot of the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
A martyr for their cause, which means there is Null worshippers of most ilk, as in many of those who would naturally fall under any of the other shadows. They changed faith, so to speak.
Brett never saw the starfish, the organisms that were living in the blood.
Yeah.
Could one of you show me what you saw in that blood, out of curiosity, the creatures?
Sure, I'll do it.
I would like to see these as well.
I'll do a
Yep.
minor
This you can
image,
very
whatever.
easily make a minor image of them.
How close is this to the organisms that were on the living shroud?
Ooh. Breton using smarts. Close. Pretty close.
So with that connection, you mentioned that the blood, the reservoir, it also absorbed the blood from the war in heaven, which means that blood from the gods themselves would have poured down into this.
Including Null.
What happens when a god dies? Where does it end up? We have no reference, because when has it happened in history for us to track down? What if the essence never left the body? What if Null is in that lake?
The corpse?
And they were using it to siphon Null's power. That would explain the connection, because obviously they would use it to get...
They're not just spreading disease across Nardathel, they're spreading the influence of Null, literally.
literally any way to.
He begins to swear in Nasdaq again. Okay. Well, that clears up the demon connection. It's not demons, it's null, for sure.
Yes. The prophecy states, for this particular instance, as I bring up my notes to make sure I get this wording correctly. Sorry. This I do have.
Go for it. Give me the passage.
A plague takes hold. Healers struggle to help, but many will perish. This shadow has a deceptive intention, tightening the knot of fate as people suffer, leading to another seal's breaking.
Which... So... That is fucking vague.
Well,
Yeah.
most of the
prophecy.
lines are, but some of them are actually very specific, and I could tell that for a fact as well. So I don't know what happens when the living saint dies, but I do think that when the Chevaliant is found, something is going to happen to him. Because he has the Sword of Equilibrium, yes?
So now we're just
Okay.
like
Not the
mask
entire
off.
thing.
He
That was
has
the
either
other
the
point.
hilt or the blade, right?
Because the blade was broken in two. Just like Braylor's heart, it was separated to make it more secure.
Yes.
Yes, because to break a seal, you reforge the object.
So somebody will want to be
If I can
reforging
ever
that
go back in
sword.
time to find the person who came up with that design, I'm going to choke them, because that's just confusing. Anyway,
Pretty sure that's blasphemy.
I don't care. I'm not religious. They may like me. I don't like them.
Braylor's chosen, everyone.
Yes.
This man's just like, the existentialism of this man is just like, you are difficult to be around, all of you, but I am going with it because I feel like this is a trial of faith.
Now you're starting to understand why you've heard of us.
You should have seen her when there was 3 of her in one.
Oh yeah, it was a party in my house.
Yeah.
It's recently got simpler.
Has it though? I think I'm a little...
I mean, you did, but circumstances kind of compensated.
That's true. Either way. Okay, so... I don't suppose there's any way we can isolate all of existence from a plane, is there? No?
Sorry,
Maybe
what? You want to...
Well,
I
don't know. If we could cut this plane of abyss off from everything else and just let the undead people do their thing in their own little house, but I don't think that's the only thing we can do.
That would require an entire planar shift in the opposite direction of the abyss.
Wasn't Null destroyed in this plane? And that's what, like, sundered the continents and made that whole island fuckery that we were just at?
Yes and no. Yes, he was destroyed here. But now I'm just musing here. I could be completely wrong. I would highly doubt that if gods walked the plane that they would completely shed all of their essence here. I doubt they would put all of their eggs in one basket.
So maybe there was an element of him in another plane that also needed...
And as well, if others were siphoning off power elements, who knows what has remained.
I think Null's remains are in that plane, along with the blood of countless others who have died in all the conflicts ever since. The Blood Wars, the War of the Heavens, all of it. Which, if his influence is corruptive as it appears to be, if anybody were to siphon power away from that, they would corrupt anything it touches. Okay. So this is kind of a dead end because we still. I'm not going to an ocean of blood plane and just to get melted by the remains of a dead god.
I would argue that is a bad idea too.
I thought the elemental plane of water would be the worst one, but I feel like we just kind of found one even worse.
All right. We have another lead we have to track down. Related. See if this works. We might come back to you, though.
My door will always be open to you.
If you could... I don't... Put whatever... That's seagull. You put
I don't even hear it.
Whatever feelers you could put out for... If the Chevalier Argent is out there somewhere, they are going to be a target. I think it's
But
imperative...
don't, let everyone know, because,
Order of Stonekeeper, they're okay. Right? You guys are good?
I mean, again, we weren't... I'm not meant to know about... I just won't tell the rest of my order. It can die. I can keep a secret. They could die with me.
Short, the point is, secrecy is paramount. We need to find this guy before the Null people do.
Mm-hmm. Is there anyone that you trust outside of you that I can talk to? If I cannot connect to you in some way. If you are busy, if you are...
The Duke of Legrand's Land?
And Eldon.
I haven't seen the Duke of Legrand's Land since I was about 21. I am now, despite my dashing good looks, 67. It's been a while. It would be a hard connection. I could make that.
Just tell him it's from the Skyfire Adventuring Company. He'll listen. Trust me.
Okay. Anyone in the city? Any allies closer?
Breton, your mentor is gonna be here like today.
He's missed everything.
Elwyn de Reynard.
I know
He's a
Elwyn.
knight of solid standing.
Hmm.
He is the individual who turned us on to looking into... Well, actually, to be entirely honest, a completely different affair that just led us into this one, but they're sort of related, so I suppose it's all just kind of one big clusterfuck.
Welcome to life.
Yes, I've been living here for not as long as I thought, and I don't know if I'm going to make it much farther.
Okay. I know Elwyn. Sure. Okay.
Is it possible to create a smaller, more portable lodestone? Maybe just with one face that could be just, a tiny pocket-sized teleporter that goes to a certain place.
He points at Ruby's belt. You mean like that?
Is that a bag of colding that he's pointing at?
No,
the
he's
belt.
talking about my sequencer.
Ah, sure.
You can transcribe the sequence of this belt. Anything you need to send to us will arrive. I'll get it.
I was more thinking something that he could make for us that we could send things to, say, the Duke of
They're
Legrand's Land.
fixed. They are fixed. I am fascinated by that belt, and I have been eyeing it up ever since she entered the room. That is a marvel, and I will... You say the Iron Duke made that?
Yeah.
Bastard.
They do have a gift for just making the most... I'm going to say over-engineered things.
I would say that I'm upset that I did not come up with it first, considering it's my realm of expertise, but that man made life, so I do not feel upset. I
feel like coming second to him is still a massive achievement.
I'm still in my peer group. It is... Yeah. Okay.
He's only had, what, another 70 years on you?
More like 400.
Yeah, the Duke's really old.
He's like 470.
Okay.
He looks
Yeah,
about
isn't he
40.
he's like
I don't think Breton actually understood just how old he was.
Yeah.
Isn't he like cyborged himself a bit?
Yeah, he's a techno lich.
Yeah.
which makes me think of Techno Viking. It's a very different thing. Just the Iron Duke with his metal arm going just through the castle. Anyway,
Techno is clearly his favorite.
Massively.
Genre.
But anyway, friends, this is actually the end of our session today. So we will end it here on the end of this conversation, and you can join us next time. So, everybody, thank you so much for watching yet another episode of the Elendor Chronicles. I've been joined by the wonderful Lord Lambert, DM Lake, and Bethany Rose. We're normally joined by Ghibli Jam, Kinda Odder, and Commissar Roach. I've been Midgeman, this has been the Component Cast, and we'll be back tomorrow with another show, and next week with more Elendor Chronicles, fingers crossed. Just as a general note, I forgot to do it in the intro. This is also going to be news to the cast. There's a chance that not next week, the week after, there might not be a session. It just depends on how quickly I can get back from the Netherlands. But most likely we're going to be skipping a week because I think my flight gets in around about the time we start. So
hopefully
anyway.
You don't have an serious problem.
And serious problem. Yeah, that would be bad. But anyway, we will see you next time.